Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Yeah, me too on Gold Boys.
Gold buys? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's looking like it should go to 1470.
Yeah. Yeah, Roger.
Hey, back at the control station.
Yeah. How's the snow?
Good. It's not that bad, I really like it. As long as it stays outside the house, you know? Yeah, EJ's still continuing bearish here. Damn.
Yeah, I'm in EJ sells right now.
Nice. EJ looks like it should come down to 119, 250-ish. GJ is also bearish. Alright, what's this? Vinny's. EJ sells. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I see it. Exactly how I see it. Gold here, the 30-minute candles are creating higher highs and higher lows. You know, so there's a possibility it should come up to 1469.70, 1470. Let's look at the 15-minute. Yeah, this needs to pump up this 15-minute. Yeah, you just should keep dropping. Back in the business. Back in the business. Yeah, it looks like gold's having some issues over here at 1469. Once it clears this area, it's going to clean go to 1470. It needs to clear this area. At the same time, you know, now since it's moving up, since the 30-minute candle has created a low at like 1467.80, then now you have a condition, you know, like it has to stay above this area to continue moving up. But if it comes down, that's not going to be good. Let's see how the pre-markets.
They're all down.
Oh yeah, they're all down. Not that down, like 40 points, 20 points. I would say they're like really down if they're like above like 100, you know, like 100 points down, 150 points down. GJ is at support. This is a strong support. Once this support breaks, GJ is coming further down. So dirty on the daily here. Yeah, once GJ crosses 139, 420, it's coming down into 139 200s. Asian session couldn't break that high as well yesterday. Yeah, I remember we took buys here and then we were waiting for sells, and eventually it did go down. The sells did work out later on. What is the purpose of checking pre-markets in relation to Forex? There was actually no purpose. This is just an overview. This just gives you an overview of what's about to happen. Because sometimes close to the equities open, the pre-markets can switch, and that in terms affects goals. But just from a trading standpoint, this says I've never looked at this and said, okay, you know what, the pre-markets are down, so I'm going to start to buy gold or sell UJ based on where the pre-markets are. This is just I guess it's an information overview here for me. Someone asks, oh, how's the pre-market? So I'm like, oh yeah, they're down. They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, perfect. You sound sick, sir. Praying for your good health. Thank you, thank you. I'm actually not sick at all. I'm eating Greek yogurt here. Ooh, they got strawberries at the bottom.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you? Right now, what I was looking at is GJ. GJ was coming down, so I was looking at sells, but it's coming down to support, so there's no sells for me. I was looking at GJ sells, but it's at support, so I gotta wait. There's nothing to see here, nothing to do except for waiting. Next, I was looking at gold. Gold, I was looking at, okay, the 30-minute candles are rejecting 1467.40. They're creating higher highs, higher lows. This 30-minute candle is about to close in 11 minutes. So you just gotta wait where it's gonna close. See, the 15-minute, the previous one closed bearish. So I don't know where it's gonna go. Because when I came through the charts, price was right over here. This candle was forming. And this candle formed like a small bullish candle. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait. Next one formed bearish. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait. So now this is forming. If this forms bullish, then I'm going to take buys on gold. But it has to form bullish. Maybe buy stop at 1469 would be okay too. But this has...
5 minutes it's holding support, so...
Yes.
We just...
Good morning.
Good morning.
I took gold longs.
Nice.
8 in the 30-minute.
Okay.
But this spike stopped me out.
Yeah. Where was your stop loss?
I moved it to break even when it moved around this area.
Okay,
I
yeah.
knew that we're gonna have some kind of problem.
Problems, yeah. It's a problematic area here.
Yeah, so I just moved to break even, and well, it closed tough.
Yeah.
And the rest is break even.
still in
Nice.
the trade.
Well, you see, I'm looking at the 4 hour, and the 4 hour previous candle closed above all the others.
I think we should be good.
Where would be your stop? The guy that's
Below
still
the
holding it?
previous,
Well, if you go on the 15-minute, Raja, I entered on the
Yeah,
this,
this?
on the right. So I entered right here, so I have my stop loss right here.
Nice.
And this wick went below the previous one. That was like, I wasn't really sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it also went higher than the previous one too, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like, you know, it's kind of just
A nothing candle.
yeah.
You see all this sun, all this area,
Yeah.
this, here, here.
If
Here.
this 30-minute candle it doesn't close bullish on my exit, I
Yeah.
have a really good entrance.
Yeah, because
You're at break even, right?
Yeah.
because the
Sorry,
first
Raquel.
because the first thing I looked at was the 4 hour, and the 4 hour was like this, and instantly in my mind I said, okay, this is gonna flip bullish. You know, so for it to flip bullish, it needs to respect the support, which was forming here in the 1 hour. You know, so now the 15-minute is now trying to close bullish. If this closes bullish, it will in turn make the next 30-minute candle continue bullish as well, and that will flip the 4 hour candle. So let's see here. Let's draw a visual aid here. So for the 4 hour to flip bullish, it needs to cross 1469.60, and that, oh yeah, that's the resistance there on the chart.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird, Rakeel. On my MT4, the 4 hour is a small bullish candle.
Yeah, different close.
Yeah.
Different brokers have different 4-hour closes. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
And Raquel, I was hoping for it to go a bit lower.
Oh, the 4 hour?
Yeah, if you go to the 4 hours, you don't mind. I was hoping for it to go around this area.
Yeah.
A bit lower.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Because I mean, it can go lower if the small time frames start closing bearish.
This
I was
15-minute candle is key.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone.
So far it's looking
Good
good.
morning, everyone.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How's everyone doing?
Good. Good.
Great.
Oh, someone else was looking at the same buys here on gold. Very nice.
Raquel,
Hey.
the analysis you were posting on IG yesterday,
Yeah.
they are not the ones on our Slack, right?
Yeah, there's one on Slack.
But a different Slack or the one that everybody's in.
Everybody's in there.
But where?
Oh.
'Cause
Hey.
I was looking for them.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? People send them to me privately, so I keep.
Oh, okay.
So I tell them all the time, hey, post this in the groups as well.
Yeah, man.
Come on, don't be greedy.
No, we can learn also.
Yeah, no, those some of them are really good analysis.
Yeah. I think the one from Rick yesterday was really good.
Yeah. Oh, what's this? Gold 1 hour chart. Wait, this is not the correct chart. Yeah, this is not the correct chart. What's going on
No,
over
we're
here?
above 164, 1468.
Yeah, this is an old chart. Damn. Got it.
Yes, of course.
Do you think gold can retest 1480 the same way it has dropped on higher time frame? It has cleaned basically 1480. Yep. I mean, if this 15-minute close is bullish, that would make sense because now the momentum is going to try to switch bullish. But this is the problem area here, 1469. It needs to break above this area, and then eventually we can test 1480.
Rakeel, this was my sell today.
Oh, nice.
So I'm good for the day.
Nice. Yeah, that was a good sell.
If you go left, you will see that this area was respected earlier as well.
Man, Elaine, you're killing it, man. Every time we speak, you just
Yeah.
Profits.
winner. That's it, man. Good job.
Winner,
Thank
eating
you.
chicken for dinner.
Chicken dinner.
See, GJ came down, but it's that support. We don't know.
Yeah, if you go to 1 hour, can you go GJ 1 hour? Yeah, this there. Well, you got it marked.
Yeah,
Looks like a mess.
yeah, it's just ranging.
This
Yeah,
area. Yeah, exactly.
dirty, stupid range. It's been a while not attending this sessions, and I've been losing money without you guys. I'm back now. Oh, thank you. GU going short. I don't know. You need to send a chart, mate. If GJ was at support, how come you didn't take buys? Well, that's a very valid question. So when GJ was at support, it was bearish, you know. So I didn't take buys because there was no confirmation to take buys, right? Because now when this 30-minute candle is open, we don't know whether it's gonna stay bullish or it's gonna go bearish because it's still open. Look at the time here, 3 minutes left, right? So if this candle closes bullish, then it's at support. Then you have a condition that you can put on the trade that, okay, 30-minute candle closed bullish, then there's a chance for the next one to go up. But since it's still open, we don't know whether it's going to close bullish or bearish. So it's always important to wait for candles to, like, you know, close and then understand that, okay, whether it's a good trade or not. See, now it's going down, so we don't know.
Also, rakeel on GJ in the 1 hour, it's constantly making lower highs, so it wouldn't be smart to consider buys above 139.85.
130.
It breaks the structure of the lower highs.
Yeah, the way I look at it is that, like, right now in the 1 hour, it's if it's under 139.700, it's still ranging, right?
Yes.
And if it goes above 139.700 till 800, it's still like a lot of traffic there to the left. Yeah, so this is the range it's in right now, you know, and if it goes up and you look left, there's more traffic here. So it's pretty dirty right over here.
So yeah, if the 1 hour closes above that dirty area, so to say, then wait for a retest and then it will go up. Probably because it's breaking the last lower high.
Yeah, ideally, I would want to see a break above 139, you know, let's say 850 for a chance to move up till this area up over here, like around 140.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking also.
Yeah, but like trading in this box here, this is just dangerous because it's just so much range. Or, you know, if we can get a break below, what's this, 139.400 to anticipate it coming down to 139.200, that'll be good. See, gold, man, so hard. That 15-minute is not going bearish. You gotta wait or you will get fucked. That's true. What time frame do you normally wait on the close for? Well, it depends, you know. Now if you look on the 30-minute here, the 30-minute is bearish at the support. So someone can say that, okay, it's going to break support when it hasn't broken support. You know?
Should
See, it gets very tough over here. Even if it comes down to this area, how far is this? That's like 15 pips. Maybe sell stop could work if it pounces down. You know, pounces down, gold pounces. So 1467 is sell stop. But I would be pretty confident with it.
The thing is that you got 4 hour support just below,
Yes.
so it's like a bit risky.
Yeah, and I think if 4 hour does come down, then you're right. Like this retest area would make sense.
Yeah. Also, if you go to the daily or the weekly, you don't mind.
Yeah, daily.
Yeah, we have to retest this area. But we also have this. What do you think?
Yeah, going up for sure.
Yeah, in my opinion, we're doing a retest. Like, we need to head higher, fall down. That's it.
Yeah, if it wants to go higher to fall down, then it's got to break this resistance to go up higher.
Yep.
Because if it breaks 1460, let's say 1470, man, it has no traffic.
Space.
Yeah, at least till 1472 and then all the way to 1480.
Yeah. I think the easy trade is this area.
Yes, that's exactly true. Okay, someone's trying to short. Oh. What's this? UJ. So someone's shorting UJ. Broke support zone, closed under the next candle, retested and got rejected. Well, I think you've zoomed out a little bit, so I'm gonna do with what I have available here. This candle closed bullish here. So you need this 1 hour candle to close bearish for it to continue moving down. You know, and then you have, I mean, I don't know, I can't do nothing with this chart, so I'll just do what I can. There's a support right over here, then there's the support right over here, then there's this support right over here. So I don't know if this take profit makes sense or not, or if you had a dream last night that, oh, you just gonna break all those supports in one session and go down, or maybe a couple of days. But you need to understand there's these supports are barriers which price has to respect. So you need to keep those in mind. That's when it's important to zoom in on the candles to see what the candles are doing, where they're closing, where the supports are. So I would say this take profit makes no sense. So I'm gonna put an X on it, because you failed to realize that there are supports to the left hand side.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. When I started trading, I was like, oh yes, it's going to break the support easy. You know, oh, it can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, but you always got to go step by step.
Yes.
Yeah. Looks like gold's going to drop here.
Ooh, lucky didn't take buys.
Yeah, me too. And sell stop got activated.
Oh, really? Oh, good.
Yeah. 1467. How far do you guys think GU will go short for? Tang Huang? Mr. Tang Huang, you need to send a chart. Tang Huang.
That's a good set.
GJ 30-minute. GJ previous 30-minute closed bullish, but the current one broke the low of that candle. I don't like it. Alex sent a chart. Take a look here. Retest. Wait for bearish confirmation. Happy days. Oh, nice. Yeah, it will be happy days. Let's take a look here. So basically, this is what Alex is looking at. Some sort of a bearish confirmation here. Yeah, that would make sense. And even looking at the 1 hour here, the previous 1 hour broke the lows of the previous 2 1 hour candles. So even if you look at it from a risk perspective, if a stop is at, like, you know, 119.512, so that 9-10 pip stop for eventually to continue moving down. Oh, someone sent a beautiful chart here. Alright, 1 clean 4 hour candle filled to go up. Price made a resistance here in Y session yesterday. Retesting this as support. Wait for close above 4 hour SR. Yeah, perfect. Someone's looking for buys. Getting a little retracement here on gold. Hello, good morning, Alex.
Good morning, team.
How are you,
Hello,
team?
Alex. Good morning.
Team leader?
How are you guys? I was wondering, like, damn, am I muted? I don't hear anything.
Oh, I got out of gold here. Took a loss.
Rakeel, why did you took long? Short, sorry.
Well, there's trade tensions, no?
I took shorts because it was heading bearish, so I took shorts.
Yeah, but no candle closed below that area.
Yes. Yes.
And it just retested the 4 hour zone we were just talking about.
Come on, man. Stop roasting me, man.
Yeah, man, there was no bearish.
God
candle.
damn.
No, I'm just saying, maybe I'm wrong. He's the man here, he's the man.
No, I'm wrong, man. Come on.
Maybe I'm
You
wrong.
try
I
to
don't know, I'm asking.
tell us support. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. You gotta put
Hey.
them up.
Yeah, that was my bad.
Hey, we gotta keep your skills sharp.
My bad, guys. Ah,
When
fuck.
students become the master.
Hey, it's so funny. Where the guy had his cells at, that's where I took my buys.
Oh.
But you took his money, man.
Yeah, Kevon took my money.
You savage, bro.
Kevon took my
Bring him back,
$2.
Kevin. Come on.
Shit.
Yeah. Loved your story when you said yesterday, if you lost money in the market, don't worry. I have it.
It's a big bank and shit.
Yeah, man. That's like my new tagline.
I'm coming for you.
It's good,
Come on.
man.
Like this guy, I don't know what's up with these guys. Like they love counter trending, man.
Oh.
Like you look at the chart and you could just tell they're on the wrong side of the trade.
Yeah, Kevon, it's like having sex in the park.
Yeah, I wish I could just set alerts when these guys just take their position, man.
Hey, how's that torch running right now?
Bro, that guy is That guy's doing some next thing, bro.
He's in gold. He's in gold.
Sells.
Right now.
Oh. Well, this candle needs to close below support so he can win and I can win.
Yeah, he's down like $53.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he was down almost $15. Yes, 1,500. I thought he was done for.
Yeah, me too. I thought so too.
Alright. What's this chart here? GU. Range. Break below support. Retest go down. Clean candles to the left. Same thing going up. Yep, this makes sense. Now you just gotta wait. Perfect.
Man, I don't think we have this many people like anticipating a trade before.
What, the gold buys?
Yeah.
Because it's super clear.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that never work. You know, the more clear it is.
Yeah. Like, okay, so just look at this chart. Look at the chart. You can clearly see the uptrend on gold.
Yeah.
Like, why would you take sales? Like, it didn't close below that support area.
Wow, Kiwan is really going in roasting me right now.
Come on, who's next?
Who's next?
If you watched my IG live yesterday, I told you that it wasn't going to dip below 1464 and then it was going to fly off.
Oh, is Ted again roasting?
Yeah.
I mean, I did mark out like a specific area based on like the weekly and the daily.
Like, if you guys, like, it's super, like, gold, right? When it's in a downtrend, just even go at the 1 hour. And once it breaks structure, just look. Like, it's super easy, man. Like, I don't understand, like, the only thing it doesn't give you that pullback to enter most of the time. That's what I see.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But
no way.
like, if you look at gold right now, we're heading to we basically tapped. Where is this? We came pretty close. So we tapped 1470, but 1474 we should probably get to by the end if we're going to go all the way back up.
Yeah.
But it was what I told people yesterday. We were looking at the charts on Instagram Live, and you could see where the 4 hour was holding support, and we were saying it should dip back in there one more time, and then it should take off. And you could see sort of we held support there pretty hard. People just, I don't know, they want to be heroes, and I just don't understand why they want to be heroes.
I don't know.
Nothing to do with
heroes always get the girl, Ted.
It's not with Raj's trade, but I'm just saying in general, people are trying to just do stupidness on the charts, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's so stupid taking sells. I mean, who does that?
We'll let you slide with you. We know you don't make stupid decisions.
I mean, if you're looking for that deep retest to that bottom, to that gray area that you highlighted, if you're anticipating that this candle here flips bearish all the way down to here, that makes sense. The only thing is that I always say to people, it's like, it's hard to guess that level. Like, it can go to that level, but how hard it's hard to guess that level. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I've been waiting for 1458 since yesterday.
Yeah, that's
nowhere
not
near it.
Yeah, I feel sorry for those torch people waiting for the torch. The torch is gonna be, it's gonna be extinguished before it gets to anybody else.
Shoot, Ted, they're cutting the close, man. Like, this guy almost put it out yesterday.
Well, I don't understand. But see, the thing is, and this is what I said about, he said he was swing trading. And
yeah, you said he was a swing trader.
I said I have no problems with that, but you can't stack swing trades.
Yeah, he had like margin level was like 400, 300. At one point it was like 200 something with the US 30 trades he had.
Full margin.
Yeah, he's full margining swing trades. Like, you can't do that. Like, it's a total counterintuitive move.
So I thought I was I thought I was the only one noticed that. I'm like, why is he stacking position swinging? Like, if you're wrong, you
Yeah, you're done. Yeah. That's what I noticed. That was the only thing that I said. I said I don't understand why he's swing trading these pairs, and then he's stacking them. And I mean, other than that, it was sort of like, well, good luck. I mean, it's just I already talked to Q about it. I gave him my 2 cents, and you know, we had a long discussion about how he should structure it. You know, if he's marketing stuff, that's fine. I don't disagree with the marketing effort, but at least use it and show people, like, you know, all we're seeing right now is what not to do. And I think there should be a little bit. And I told him that the way he should run the torch would be you get rewarded, your account grows in size based on how well you trade the account. So you start everybody off with a $500 account, and if you see that they're progressing and they're building the $500 account, add $500 every couple of days till they get the maximum of $3,000, so that they don't start just, you know, like just smashing the account right away and not managing the account properly. So you reward them more on that. And I told them, I said that would be the best way to do it, because people would then pass different levels. And I mean, technically speaking, his capital wouldn't be at risk, right? Because this kid would not have gone past $1,500. He would have gone to like 250 or 300, and then he would have been done. That's what I thought would have been the best thing for him. And then that would have allowed you to open up multiple torch people, because you could spread $3,000 across, say, 3 accounts. You do $500 a piece. You know that probably one of them is going to fuck up. You kill that one account, and then you let the other 2 reap the reward of the $3,000 account. It just made sense to me to do that, and it's just so that, you know, people don't blow shit up.
I think it's also because, like, not a lot of people have had the experience to trade a $3,000 account, so it comes to them as a shock.
Yes, that's the other thing too.
Because the drawdown goes up so fast, you're like, oh shit, now what do I do?
I just
not trying to be negative or anything. This is gonna prove why 90% of traders fail. So we got 10 guys. So it's a strong possibility that all 10 won't make it through.
That is very true as well.
So it's going to show the reality of that.
Yeah. It's not even like, and I said this to Q as well. I said, like, there's not even any structure. Like, people don't. There's no rhyme or reason to what they're doing. They're taking trades at all different times of the day, all different pairs. Like, there's no real sense of like sort of a plan. And I said that looks really bad on people, that, you know, they're just jumping from pair to pair hoping to catch something. It's like, I don't know, it's just really weird to me.
I think, Ted, it kind of like, you know how like people are losing, so they want the education more, or they think that, oh yeah, you know, Q, like for example, he's doing the boot camps, right? I think it's just kind of marketing purposes. It works really well.
Well, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, it doesn't, because I mean, you're giving money to traders who are losing, and then you're like, do I really want to take this guy's course?
Yeah, but there's people out there that are not putting in the effort to, like, they're just kind of copying the trades, right? So they're losing their money, and then they're getting more desperate. So they're like, okay, let me try to learn the right way, or let me try to pursue this guy's course because he's winning. He's making money, right?
Yeah, no, there's no doubt, but I mean, if I was to do something like that, which I would never do because I don't really see the benefit to it, and I knew it was a marketing ploy, yeah, I would be coaching that student, yeah, as they're trading, because I would not want to see them lose the money. I would want to see them make the money. Yeah. And then if I'm doing a 5-day boot camp course, I could say, hey, look, I'm teaching this guy just on the fly because he's not part of my groups, and he's succeeding. Just imagine how much you can do if you took my 5-day boot camp, right? Like, that's the marketing spin on that.
That's a good one too.
That's a really good one, yeah.
Because I mean, that ideally that's what you'd want to do. If you're marketing your course, or you're marketing yourself saying, hey, I'm giving away money, I would make sure the people that I gave money to were learning, and, you know, obviously they're not part of the groups, but it would just show that how powerful what I'm teaching resonates with people, or, you know, what your ability to learn or grasp concepts. It just would make more sense to me. I mean, I wouldn't turn around and be like, hey, I'm running a 5-day boot camp course, and the guy that I passed the torch to is blowing his account. Like it just looks to me like you're just doing whatever. You just don't really care.
Hey, Kavad. Can you hear me, Kavad? Kavad.
Oh, go ahead.
Let me ask you something. When you enter gold trades, do you enter on break and retest or breakouts?
I enter on breakouts.
Okay,
So
thank you.
I mostly enter on break.
You
And Alex P, did you enter that gold buy on the breakout?
The people who have been directed the questions to have decided to stay quiet. No.
No, he's answering on the chat.
Oh. Raja, could you see my chart? I have no idea how to send it. Well, Angelo Stanuev, I think you need to watch the intro video there on the description. What is the minimum lot size to trade your way? I think there's no my way or highway. It's just like what risk is going to suit you best. Oh, I think someone sent a Euro JPY chart, and I think Euro JPY is going to continue moving here.
Well, it looks like a wick fill there.
Yeah. That's what I pointed out earlier.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like this having been stop up there and then continue
Yeah,
bearish.
that's a big stop though.
Oh no, that was like at that point it was like nine
Okay, it looks
pip
a
stop.
lot bigger.
Yeah, it looks bigger. Yeah.
Oh, it's only 9 pips. That's good.
Yeah, EJ, your JPY candles have less volume than let's say gold or GJ.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's just like UJ, you know, like UJ, they'll look like a 20 pip stop, but it'll be like a 2 pip stop. It's UJ. When looking left, how do you know when to look for wick fills in contrast to clean candles to get filled? Well, okay, so now gold is ranging between 1467.40 and 1468.70. You know, so when gold breaks above 1468.70 and then the overall bias is bullish, then you can say, okay, you know what, it's going to continue up to 1470. So in the high time frame, this is going to be a wick fill, which is the 4-hour wick fill, I think. Yeah, 4-hour wick fill. Right, so then you can say, okay, on the high time frame, it's going to fill the 4-hour wick here, but on the smaller time frame, it's just going to be a break above this little range to continue up, which is what, 15 pip range, and then you have gold has the possibility to continue moving up here.
Hey, for gold, 15 pips ain't that bad.
Yeah,
and I like how when you're in your teaching voice, you go really fast, so you know that's cool. Like here we have Richard.
Oh, I go really fast?
Yeah, it's good. Like
especially when you're saying the numbers.
Oh.
It's good though. You know.
Oh, it makes me sound professional.
Yeah. Like machines, it's not the real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to say the numbers a lot to look professional, you know.
When you withdraw money from your bank account or from your broker, Raja, how long does it take to reach your bank account?
I don't know. It depends on the broker. I need to ask them, and then they let me know.
It's so funny, these questions.
I know crypto takes maybe a few hours, but bank transfers take like 3-4 business days.
They're coming to rob you.
You guys are on the wrong stream right now.
Like, Raj, when are you gonna get paid so I can come rob you?
You can't. I just paid my bills yesterday.
Hey Roger, here's my chart.
Hey Angelo, thank you.
It was just easier because I have to open my laptop too.
Oh.
Zoom.
Oh yeah.
And EJ says.
This looks good. I think you can even trail your stop down here.
Yeah, because I have one entry on, like, my second entry is on that zone you just made.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, this is good. This looks...
Damn, dude. Sometimes my FX book and Forex Factory be confusing me. Like, Forex Factory has a red rope folder, and then my FX book has a medium. I mean, Jesus. They can't get together and be harmonious.
No. That's why you follow price action.
Yes. Yes, coach. Look, right now it's breaking that resistance.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, oh shit.
Gold is doing well.
And long wick gave it a nice what's it called?
Liquidity.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, it should go back up to 1470.
Yes.
That's where I'm targeting. Hopefully we go up there.
Yes, hopefully. This 7:30, 7 o'clock candle is major here.
Who the fuck is this?
Why have you chosen those specific currencies to trade? Because after backtesting, you realize what makes sense for your plan.
Someone sent me a logo. Hey bro, I just made you a logo. Can you give me $100? I don't need your logo.
Without you even asking them to make one. Hey man, I bought you a car, but do you mind paying monthly payments?
Yeah.
It was funny. I had a guy yesterday message me saying he wanted to buy the brokerage, and then I said to him, so do you have money to buy the brokerage? He's like, no, I'm gonna borrow the money. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm confused.
He's actually here, Ted.
But it would have been worse. Hey Ted, can I buy your brokerage? Hey Ted, can I use the money to buy it?
Yeah, but I'm just like, you can't go to somebody and say, hey, I want to buy the brokerage if you don't have the funds to buy the brokerage. Like, you can't borrow money to buy a high risk business. No one's gonna sell you up. No one's gonna lend you money for a high risk business.
That's true.
Daniel is here in Zoom chat.
Yeah, I think he's listening to you.
He is.
He's in the Zoom chat. Well, he was there.
Oh, I know.
Good morning,
I think he's part of Forex family.
Yes.
I think he's part of Forex family. I was just quite surprised he asked me that.
Wow, who let him in?
You quoted him a low price than everyone else.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if he wants it, I mean, he can take it.
Coach, I'm gonna start marking up my charts like really nice on Slack, so you can talk good about me too.
Yes. Man.
There's some good charts on Slack, bro.
A lot of people, they have really upped their game in, like, you know, understanding the moves and candles. And
I'm gonna start, because I'd be like, guys, you know what my plan is, but I'm gonna start for real, like marking my charts.
What's going?
You should start.
Did you enter, Coach? Did you come up? I'm sorry, what?
Start storytelling.
For real. Do you have a buy limit there, Coach?
No, I have an entry at 1468.30.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to watch once we get to 1469.77. That's going to be a key point.
Yeah.
That would be the top of those closures, eh?
On the 30-minute, it's 1469.77. That's the top area there. I think once we get there, you might have a big pullback. So I'm just watching that area.
Rakeel,
and it would be coinciding with an hour open candle.
Right. So, but if we break through that in the next few minutes or so, then it's probably not as valid. But I'm just watching that level specifically because if it does go up and reject that area, then it'll come back down again.
They closed above there. How cool.
Yes, and yeah. Someone sent this chart and I'm confused. This is an old chart. It's pretty old.
Lens has that dial-up connection. He sent that like a week ago.
Oh, we're going.
Yep.
We're going.
Without wick. A little.
Where's Kevon when you need him?
Yeah, man. These guys roasted me in taking the correct trade.
Hey, coach, but it's okay. Because guess what, coach? You've taught thousands and thousands of students, but there's days they teach you.
Oh, I learn every day.
There you go.
Rakeel, your entry was based on the top of the 50-minute candle.
No, it was based on the candle going down and not closing below bearish and closing.
No, I mean long. You're long, right?
Yeah. So it closed back inside, and I was like, okay, you know what? Just makes sense then. Because yeah, so it tried to go up, couldn't go up, went down, wicked below. That's where I took sells and took a loss, and then like it started to go up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take an entry here, and now my stops are at break even.
And that's a good explanation because some would call that revenge trading.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be revenge trading if this is the first or second time I'm watching gold do this.
Yes.
You know, but we've seen gold do this for the last year and a half every day, so this is experience.
Shit, there was 1 week you traded nothing but gold.
Yeah, I remember. My history was all gold. I'm sure you'll recover a correction. Oh, it doesn't really bother me. My stops are break even. Doesn't really matter.
It's like when you're doing really, really good with your girlfriend, but she cheats on you to make sure to remind you she owns, like, you know, she's the boss.
Oh man.
That's some next level relationship there.
Yeah, come on, she cheats on you.
Just to remind you who's the boss?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. Who does that, man?
I do it to my chick all the time.
Alright. Let's see here. Someone sent the chart.
Hello?
Hello?
ठीक है डर करे
Sam said mute your mic.
Okay, there you go.
He's talking to his dad.
Man's ordering a cherry cola from the
Bro, he said he's talking to his dad, man, not ordering cherry cola.
Yeah, but mute.
Yeah, this chart here, I mean, you had a good entry, it went in profits, now it's stuck in goat shit. So, I don't know. I guess it's just ranging right now. So you should draw a box over here.
But it should move now since this US is in play, right, coach?
Yes, but yeah, it should. I don't know how New Zealand USD moves, so I have no idea.
Okay.
Other than the fact that it's just ranging.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm securing 10 pips here on gold.
Nice, coach.
Come back at break even.
I just close my.
Wait to listen to your students.
I close my position. I'm happy with my profit.
Beautiful.
Yep. 10 pips. Good. It seems like it's bouncing around. I think the 5-minute candles are bouncing around, but we should break up a little bit higher, but
Yes.
I was okay. I mean, I took my entry off the 5-minute candle where we started to create support. So if you go into the 5-minute charts, I'll show everybody sort of how it was. This area over here. So once this area started to create clear support, because when you think about the box idea, this was your box, right? So box, then this, and then break up here. So what you can do is if you map that out on your 5-minute candles, providing this area here doesn't break down, you then have an opportunity to take a trade and go up. Now, the reason why you look at that is because this candle over here is coming close to your end of half hour, end of 15-minute close. So in most instances, when you look at those smaller time frames, you always get a little bit of a push towards the end of the 15-minute time frame or the end of the 30-minute, based on the fact that we had this and then this candle over here, which was rejection. So you're able to say, okay, the first candle here, this bottom candle was liquidity, right? And then you'd say, okay, this was your breakout, the break up, which was basically the new the new hour sort of it, break up, and then you had a bit of consolidation, and then we'll have a break up over here, and then we break up, and then over here, what you're going to find is this is going to go towards this is final push towards NA Open, North American Open. So that's sort of how you would manage that. And if you look, as you come across this area here, because we broke out of there, this now lines up with this area over here, and these candles are coming into this area here. So at any given point, we can reject that area. We may not get back up to this initial target. So if you turned around and you managed your trade, and you said, okay, at this point, this is, you know, I've already grabbed like 8 pips here, I grabbed another 2 pips here, you could technically secure the trade and say, hey, I'm good. Because what you're doing is you're coming into a gambling area. And what I mean by a gambling area is based on where we are in time. So we're coming towards the final push towards the North American Open. Based on what we see to the left, you now have a choice. Are we going to break through this, or are we not going to break through it? And that is what you need to do when you're trading, is you need to figure out your risk tolerance. For me personally, I was expecting this to push up a little bit harder in the first few minutes to drive through that, but since we didn't, I decided I'm going to close my trade because we're heading into this area here. And I had already secured 10 pips. I'm okay with that. I don't need any more. If I had taken an entry, say, from down over here, I'd be more comfortable holding over here. But because I took an entry over here, I have to look at my range, and I have to realize that I bounced right into this consolidation area, and it may not be the most profitable trade for me as we start to break through this. The other option is what you look at is when you see that area there and you see what's happening with this candle here, we can then determine that this hour candle is going to have a little bit more of a wick. So when you move back into the hourly, you're seeing that there's a little bit of a pullback, and the next hourly candle will pull down, or even, you know, in the next 20 minutes, it'll pull down a bit, and then we will fill that hourly wick, and that will give us the momentum we need to go further up. So what I'm looking to do here is I'm saying, okay, I close over here, I'll double dip, and then I'll see what happens at the North American Open. If we have an hour candle where the hour candle drops down and then we get a wick that looks like this, and, you know, our top starts to form in this direction, and I can see that we're starting to break through this, we have a whole full hour, next hour, to break through that, instead of waiting on a stale hour candle, which is 20 minutes to close, to try and break through this. So those are the decisions you have to make as a trader.
God, what a breakdown, Ted. Sheesh. That was good, bro. And let me ask you something, Ted. Do you usually enter gold in your 5-minute chart? Off your 5-minute? Like on this explanation, how you entered, that's how you usually enter?
It's because on the hour chart, you had a huge rejection at the bottom side, right? So those have to go somewhere, and you know within that hour, it's going to be hard for you to get an entry on a 15-minute candle as it pushes through. So you adjust your entry criteria to match up with how the hour candle's moving. Because I'm trading off the hour candle, so I have to look at my trend based on that, and then my 15 and 5-minute candles. I can't wait for a half-hour close on an hour candle if I'm only trading this.
Wow, awesome. Okay, thank you.
The other thing, Alex, what you have to remember too is if you're trading off of, you're looking at the hour candle, these moves that you have here are going to be shorter and tighter, right? You can't turn around and trade this range here and look at half-hour candles or 15-minute candles. It makes no sense because the hour candle, you can see, rejected this area here, so you have to work within this range. So knowing that your range is, you know, whatever it's going to be this area here, you have to then say to yourself, okay, I got to work off the 5-minute candles and then say, if we break above this, then where's our next area? Because when you turn around and box this out, here are your boxes. So then you're grabbing this aspect, you're grabbing this aspect, and then eventually we're grabbing this. But the problem is we just don't know when this next breakout is happening. But you don't want to get caught where you ride this. You don't want to get caught where you ride all this up, and you know that you have a heavy consolidation area over here, and you still hold on to it. Because this could pop back down into this area, test that again, and then continue up. And you could have secured over here at the top, and then re-entered down over here again in the bottom, and then start that move again on a cleaner hour candle. That's sort of what I look at, because now the hour candle is pulling back a bit. And what you can turn around then and say is that this 30-minute candle here for gold is pulling back for the North American Open. It'll probably bounce around this area here, maybe even to this area over here. So what you do is draw sort of a support right over here, and you say, well, Ted, that support doesn't make sense. Well, it does, because what you're doing is you're mapping out an idea. You're saying this candle here is turning into a fake out because it makes no sense that now we're dropping. And when you start to analyze and you say, well, why is that drop happening? You can turn around and say, well, because the North American session is about to start, orders are pulling back to then continue and trend. Because once again, you have these candles here as heavy support. Those orders have to go somewhere. They have to return back to here and more likely go further up. That's the idea behind this. So now when you're looking at this candle over here, you're saying, oh, now we're going down. No, we're not going to necessarily go down. There might be a rejection to this level down here, and then you get a support again somewhere over here or whatever. And then once you see candles like this candle here, like something like that form, then you can start taking entries, or candles like this where we're rejecting and we're going to just drive further up at that point. So it's important to understand why this candle's behaving the way it is. It's because we're coming close to the North American Open at that point.
Also,
That's why that one has both wicks, top and bottom.
That's right.
Ooh,
Fake out candle is a candle that pushes to the opposite direction and you don't know why it does what it does. It's a fake out, right? Anything in life that's a fake out, it doesn't make sense. That's why it's called a fake out. Like if someone turns around and walks up to you and tries to slap you, and then they're like, oh, fake out. Right? They didn't actually slap you. And then you wonder why. Why did they do that? Because they knew you were going to flinch.
That gold trade's a typical rakeel. He explained that in the camp in Miami.
Someone sent this chart. I'm not sure if this is a market entry or a buy stop, but I guess if this is a buy stop, it should be above 139,600. Because you see all these wicks. The problem is when price comes into this range here of these wicks, there's a chance it can just wick right back down. So a good buy stop is going to be at 139,600. Because then you're going to be looking at that strong push up to continue to where your take profit is. Kerwin, do you remember this chart from last night? Nice break. Yeah, I remember this. Pending order closed at, oh, nice one. I remember this chart from Asian session.
At what time was that, Kerwin?
Kerwin?
It was last night, pre-London.
What's pre-London to you?
Started during Asian session. I was waiting for the breakup. And
we're on the same. We're on the same time. What's your? I mean, what do you consider pre-Asian? I mean, pre-London your time?
2 a.m.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
See for GJ, that chart, the someone sent me for buys. Now I'm looking at GJ here. The 30 minutes, it has broken the high of the previous 30-minute handle. So this makes sense now for it to go up. But the same,
it looks like 30-minute found support, eh?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's going to be a little bit risky because of this area right over here. Right, so that's why if you're using buy stops above this wick would work perfect. You know, or if you're staying a little bit aggressive, maybe then you can say, okay, if you believe price is going to head up rather than heading down, you could say potentially, okay, now the next candle has to respect the low of the previous one and then continue on bullish. But if you're using buy stops, I think above here would be a good idea for buy stops. Am I the only one who can hear echo? Yes. I think you're the only one who hears an echo. Otherwise, we would have had, what, 700 people complain.
Coach, how you liking Disney Plus?
Well, it's pretty good.
Me too, I got it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What's up, Jamar?
How I sent the chart. Gold, 4 hour. You got a buy stop. Yep, perfect. Perfect. You're basing the buys off of the fact that it's a clean candidate to the left. And I think it makes sense too. I mean, if it goes up, that take profit is a little bit aggressive. I'd probably come down to like, you know, even this area here, it makes sense because this is a clean candle and it should be mirrored with the same move up. So I think that's what everyone is waiting for. That big clean move.
the move up happened in like pre-London, so New Yorkers didn't get a good price yet, you know. So
yeah, that makes sense too. I also think like this move down was a liquidity grab. Liquidity grab to move up. Now it's just gonna. So Ted's right. I mean, it might start ranging and then continue move up. I still have a runner running now. I have a runner on.
I'm gonna trade it at like 10 o'clock because that's where all the big moves happen with gold. 10 o'clock and London closed, gold moves like a banshee, and then afterwards 11 o'clock it stops.
Ooh, there's Powell speaking to at 10 o'clock.
I notice that every day. I look at my charts when I'm at the gym, and I say to myself, I'm like, man, I should just go to the gym at 7 a.m. and then trade at like 10:30, because 10:30 it moves like 30 pips in like 5 minutes, and then you're done. Here for some reason we've switched again. It's really moving slow pre-New York. It used to run pretty hard.
Yeah, back in the day it was pretty nice.
Yeah, because like right now, usually gold, you would have that continuation, right? So it would pop, it would break that target, and then you'd have just like one huge candle at like 8 a.m. that would just fire off. And it's not really doing that anymore.
Man, I remember in 2017 and the better part of 2018, we'd look at pre-markets, we're like, oh, perfect. Pre-markets down, gold up, buy.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's now... They've switched everything again on us, which is fine. But I just, gold usually moved a lot. It would move a lot harder right now for like for the pre-North American session, and then you would get that nice big push all the way through. It just seems like it's starting later in the day now again. We've gone back to that later movement, and we've switched. And I wish I knew that cycle where the algorithms are working later on in the market day than they are right now, because normally we would have nice pushes right now. I mean, granted, we did. The hour candle did rocket up. This hour candle did rocket up. But we always used to get a harder push. It was always more like this would have already reached that area here, and then we would start pulling back in the last couple of minutes, unless it's going to pop right now in the last 5 minutes.
Oh, mate, it's alright, pal, put your shoe on, I fucking...
It's holding that support again on the 15-minute. Cool.
Yeah, it is. It's closing bullish.
Yeah, you got to pull back and push.
NY open, boom, 1470.
Yep. It's gonna move.
I've got gold TP at 1478. What do you think of that area? I think it's a good area there, 1478. Yeah, I think that's a...
I wish I knew people's rationale for just calling out price levels. What do we think?
I wish people would send a chart when it actually hits that long TP.
Yeah. With the actual entry and exit. We've never seen one of those. I've never seen. I think maybe one or two we've seen people hold long trades when they've made that, but I've never heard anyone call up like a take profit and then actually hit it from their original thing. Like, no one's ever come back and said, hey, remember last week I had my take profit at like 1500, it hit, and here's the trade. I've never seen anybody do that.
That would be pretty cool.
It would be, yeah. Just everybody turns around and just likes to call out magical numbers. They're not holding it to that point. I know that. Unless you don't have a stop loss and you trade with all black candles.
That's the new thing now these days. It's coming in.
Did you hear the rationale rationale behind that? People trading with all the same color candles, blue or whatever. Oh, it's just so that psychologically, I don't notice that the candles are moving in an opposite direction.
Oh,
That's nuts, man.
but they are, you know. But what if they are moving in the opposite direction?
That's so funny, though. I'm just like, really? Hey, guys, don't wear a seatbelt. Don't worry, we'll be fine. No, we're gonna get into an accident. It's okay. Don't wear a seatbelt. Because we're not wearing a seatbelt, we're not gonna get into an accident. We're fine.
Man, that's the rest of. Oh no, the candles, I don't know where they are, and then you still go back to the old candles just to confirm. You're like, oh no, we're gonna be good.
When I heard that, I just started howling that people are actually doing that because they think that's going to help them trade. Oh, why not just trade without a chart? I mean, think about it. Just turn around and trade without a chart, and just hope that it goes to where it needs to go. Right?
Ooh, look at that GJ. It was closing bullish there, but it's not. Damn. Gotta wait for it to close.
That's what I was gonna ask you, Coach. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking the wick fill on the 30-minute on GCAT. No, that's what I'm seeing for the New York Open. That volume. 30-minute wick fill to the downside.
Let's see here.
Because you see that resistance to your left? That's a major level right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that, and immediately I saw, all this area here.
Oh, okay, that traffic.
Yeah, because this kind of wicked down, and I'm like, why did it wick down like this and close above? So then this makes sense, this traffic here to the left. Your JPY broke the previous highs, invalidating the sell based on the previous 30-minute candle. Just a little tip there. Invalidation. Ooh, what's this? Someone sent a chart. Yep, perfect. This makes perfect sense. So everything is going bullish in this case. So how would you know it's going to be a sell when candles are the same colors? What if you take a sell and the candle starts to go up, you're like, okay, no, they're still going down? I don't know. Ooh, gold.
I never saw candles like this before. Never.
Yeah, me too, Ninad. So confusing.
Aikishin candle.
Oh, runner got stopped out. That was a really good close up there on gold.
Ted called it exactly how it's playing out right now. So probably he's getting liquidity to go back up. For real, Jamar. It needs a refuel.
Ooh, nice, Mitch. This is a very nice breakdown.
Where, Coach? Show it.
He sent it on the Slack, yeah.
For New York, coach, New York session.
Yeah, it's in the analysis.
Most probably it will just touch the 14, 16, 7.50 and it will go all the way up to 14.70. Because on the hourly, it's making a doji candle, and it has made a doji candle on hourly.
Yeah, the hour is still holding that support on gold.
Yeah, that's my take. It will just touch the 1467.50 and it will go all the way up to your target.
Are you using trail stocks when you're in profits? Oh, is that me? Or cause my runner got stopped. I had 2 positions when I took profits on, and the runner got stopped.
Yeah, Mitch, that EJ looking like a nice staircase to the bottom. Nice break and retest, like the last.
You guys taking any more trades?
My dog, he's back. Nah, not yet, fam.
Gold is going down. How? The gold is not going down because the 1 hour candle closed bullish. Previous one closed bullish. It's respecting 1467. Look, the 5 AM candle respected support, 6 AM candle respected support, 7 AM candle respected support, closed bullish with a wick on the top. You know, so now on the 30-minute, it's back at that same support. You know, so unless it breaks and closes below, gold is not going down. I took a dumbass sell earlier on when I thought it was going to go down, and I got roasted for it. And then I took the proper trade and won, and now gold's at the same position.
Super proud of you. Super proud.
Thank you, thank you. Think you know it all. No, I don't know it all. I don't know it all. I'm just saying if candle closes below support, then it's going to go down. Otherwise, you know, it's not going to go down. That's why levels are important. This is why 90% lose, because they all say these retarded things. Oh, it's going up, it's going down, without any analysis, without any, like, you know, any substantiated evidence that it's going to go the way they think it's going to go. That's when it's important to send analysis, post charts.
Alex.
Yes, sir.
Also, like I have like 3 trading setups that I trade. Like one is like bullish runs. So like when we get a bullish run, especially if it breaks out. Like I would use a good example on this chart that Rakeel has up right now, but there's not. So like usually when you get like a nice bullish run, probably like, for example, if you look at the 1 hour, if you have like four or 5 bullish candles.
Momentum, right.
Like I trade those also like on the pullback.
I see. So basically, if it's on an uptrend, you're looking for only buys, and then basically, if it's on a downtrend, you're looking for only sells. Correct? Yes, sir.
Because the probability that the market is going to continue is very high.
Yes, yes, makes sense.
the trade break and retest because in my mind there's like too much takeouts.
Yeah, okay. And that retest could be the fake out.
Yeah.
Man, today could have been a bad day, but I'm good.
Why? Because that gold trade earlier.
Yeah.
You redeem yourself, man. We're all human. We make those mistakes.
Yeah.
And the crazy part about it, that guy's still holding those gold, man.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Well, either he's got balls or he's just new trader. That's what I say, you know? Like, when you're new, you don't know the risk, or you don't know how wild the market can be. And yeah, and like an experienced trader, that really scares me. Like how wild the market can be without any stops. Cause you could came holding like we saw what gold did last week, you know, just kept dumping. You know, no regard for human life, as Ted says. And especially with GJ too, man. When fundamentals kick in, oh boy, there's nothing stopping the move. Ooh, we got Iron Man here. Let's bring Iron Man in. Let's go.
I got cut off, but I got a mental goal, man. Like if anything over 1K on the day, I'm done.
Shit, 1K a day is nice. I'd be done too.
No, that's my loss. That's my loss.
Oh,
It makes 5K.
Damn.
Yeah, that's my cutoff for the day. And like 1K is my cutoff.
Take care, Mitch. Have fun.
Alright, Mitch. Have a good one, bro.
Ooh, GJ broke the high of the previous 1 hour candle, increasing its chances to continue bullish.
Looks like that guy's chart, that GJ pulled, that buy looking good right now.
Yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, right here.
No, that's gold. Remember the
Oh
one?
Yeah, that looks something like this too in the small time frame.
Yes, exactly. With the top, with the resistance and the support grade.
Yes.
DJ's looking good.
Yeah, broke above all these highs there in the 15 minute. 15 minutes about to close in 6 minutes. 5 minute looking good. The only thing we need is a little someone to say something about Brexit, and boom. There we go. It's coming. I'm not in this, by the way. Just anticipating it. Man, on the weekend we talked a lot about, you know, not being in the trades and just anticipating a trade a lot, because that's the same as, like, you know, taking a trade, because that's going to increase your psyche when you're looking at the chart. Because like right now when I'm looking at GJ, I anticipated it moving up, and I'm still anticipating it moving up to, you know, 139,700. So if that happens, then I can take this, what I learned from this, into the next day and into the next day, you know, and maybe after a month when I see this same scenario happen, I'm going to turn around and say, okay, you know what? I've seen this happen 5-6 times, and now I can execute on it because I've anticipated it a lot of times. It worked out. So now if I trade it, there's a higher chance it's going to work out again. You know, and that's where over trading, like, you know, that's how you can really diminish over trading too at the same time. because you've already taken your trades. Now if you're like, you know, looking at moves, anticipating moves, that's where your education really starts to kick in. That, oh, I'm just like kind of studying it and watching it.
So true, coach.
Yeah.
It's kind of like psychological demo.
Yeah, because when we started trading GJ, well, when I started trading GJ, that was a change from UJ, you know? So from jumping from UJ to GJ, that's a big difference. You know, so it's not like I started to trade GJ the first day because I had to watch it. I had to like see what it does because, you know, like GJ leaves big ass wicks as compared to UJ. So, you know, it's better to just sit and watch a pair. Also, I remember GP CAD, Sia, my good friend, told me about GP CAD, and I watched GP CAD for 2 months to see how it moves. You know, and that was just anticipating moves, and then I started to execute on those moves. Can you talk a little bit of fundamentals of the USD news coming up? Yes, let me open Capital Hungry Analysis here, and I'm going to tell you about fundamentals. I have an agent in his group. Yeah, there's news coming in like 20 minutes. PPI, they're expecting. The only thing I can tell you is that they're expecting good news. What PPI stands for is Producer Price Index. You know, it's a leading indicator of consumer inflation. You know, when the producers charge more for their goods and services, the higher costs are usually passed to the consumer. You understand? This, I read it from right over here. They're expecting good.
It's fundamental.
Yeah. So I mean, if they're expecting good news, then, you know, gold should drop. But it's news. We never know. Just like CPI yesterday was nothing. CPI did nothing yesterday. Man, I was in the plane when CPI hit, and before that, when I saw that there'll be increasing numbers, I'm like, man, gold's gonna drop hard if they increase numbers. And it did nothing. I mean, where is it? CPI candle. CPI candle was, yeah, right over here. This one, 830. Nothing. This whole candle was like 27 pips.
Man, and looking at the news now, like the history, I noticed that it's barely good. It's barely never good, you know? Either it hits actual or it never like goes, you know, above it or...
Yeah.
Crazy.
Someone sent a chart here. Let's take a look at this chart. Oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, gold. Oh, you've drawn the future here. Perfect. Let me just screenshot this.
Yo, man's trying to be like you with the Houdini candles, coach.
Yeah, he took the super secret mentorship. What's this? Another chart. Oh, can't open the chart.
Those 1 hour wicks are looking really nice too on gold.
On gold, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is the rejection.
You've got 2 in a row now that look pretty good.
Oh, I just noticed the same song has been playing over and over again.
The next rejection level is 1474 too, so there's really no reason why it shouldn't get up to 1474.
Yeah, I agree with that. The only thing that's really keeping me off the fence is this PPI. PPI can potentially wick down and then continue up.
That might be the catalyst for it to wick down and then push up.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's.
What's going on? Scalper and day trader agreeing? Sheesh.
That's
Yeah. What do you put on your money on then? Shit.
You know, the crazy part about it is the way that Raj trades is pretty similar to the way I do my swing trading. It's not different really. It's based on price action and wicks. I mean, it's not good. It's just longer. Yeah, it's just longer term and shorter term. It's a good kind of good mix.
Ooh, look at that 15-minute rejection. Come on, gold.
See, if you start on that red one down like 20 candles and see the wicks down at those red ones at the low on the 15-minute, every time those wicks close, it close higher, which is building momentum, right?
Yeah, I see that. Huh.
Did you ever hear about a bull flag? Yes, 3 years ago, and that's it.
Yeah, right where Raj just had it. I mean, you go to the one at 130 almost, the wick at 130, red wick down there at the bottom, and you just follow the wicks up. The next one goes higher. The next one goes higher. That's momentum to me, at least.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Man,
That's
on the 15-minute momentum's bullish.
Yeah.
Yeah, right down there. The next one, and the one after that, and the one after that is all higher.
So, is this a bull flag? Someone would draw a bull flag, something like this.
Yeah, this is the bull flag.
This is the bull flag.
Yo, that looks like a camel head, bro.
I was trying to draw a flag.
That's the flag.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't even tell you how to do that. How to even spot that bull flag. I don't even know that. It's the first time I've seen that.
So that's gonna cost you 21 profitable signals to learn the bull flag. We will also teach you pitchfork indicator over here.
You got all kinds of flags.
All kinds of flags.
Where my dog mean that though, bro?
You got pitch fan over here. See this pitch fan?
That's the ultra raver fan.
See, now once it breaks above this fanning trend line, it's gonna come into the blade over here. And from this blade, it should continue moving out over them. Alright, someone sent a chart here.
Someone's saying, can you show us your trades? Yes, just as soon as you show us yours.
Your USD arrow going down, retest, and then down. Perfect. So now you got to map this out on the smaller time frames, and then you got to see that, okay, how are you going to execute on this idea of the higher time frame? Oh boy, price of gold, fundamental daily forecast. Lower demand for risk, supporting short covering rally. What? What does this mean, supporting short covering rally? This means short? Oh, continue higher. Yeah. So gold should spike higher if those tensions escalate. Yeah, I agree with this part over here. I mean, Trump can wake up and say, hey, we're going to slam tariffs back on China.
Is he not up yet? Do you have a long night?
Haven't seen a tweet yet. Okay. Ooh, New Zealand USD. Oh, I remember this chart. Nice. Broke down. Your JPY. Wait for pullback to 119.45, then buy. I would be, yeah, I think I'd be wary of that. Only because of the fact that there's a wick right over here at 119.600, which is like 10-12 pips away, so you could possibly make it work. But I wouldn't like this. I would, looking at your JPY, I would like a sell better than a buy. So if it comes down back below, 119,450, then I'll be looking for, then I would like sells better. Because if you look on the higher time frame, the 4 hour especially, if the 4 hour starts to come down, then there's a cleaner range to go down than to go up. For buys, I would like buys above 119, let's say 800 on your JPY. Because you need to put yourself in the best position to win. That's very, very crucial. So when price comes up, I'm looking at all this trouble here. I'm like, yes, not looking good. So looking at gold now, it's just kind of like dancing around there. There's news in 9 minutes, so it's got to be very careful now. Ooh, someone sent a chart. Keval sent a chart. Oh, so I still see sells, just prices now at my zone. Nice. I think a confirmation of sells is going to be on EJ. I would say if it comes back below 119,400 or even 119,450.
Man, every time you say that name, I'm thinking you're calling me dude.
Just call me Kev, it'll be easier.
Kev, okay, Kev. No, but Kev is still Kev.
So the reason I sent that chart is because I think that's why those cells are invalidated that you called. Because I've got quite a strong zone on my chart. And so I actually already entered cells when it retested the first time from my chart. So, yes, I already entered cells on that retest. And I already got out.
Oh, was it?
That makes sense to me.
Was it here?
Yeah, that one, exactly.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
I can clearly see the downtrend, so you know what I mean?
Yeah. Kevon, I remember the day when gold...
That's quite a strong zone.
Yeah. Man, I remember days when gold would rally and Kevon would sell. And I was like, why?
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, man, the good old days, man.
Good old days. I'm covering my position, fellas.
Man, I remember that one day that shit just kept on going. That shit wouldn't stop, man.
Yeah.
I think it was a Friday. Ted called it out too. It's like I think gold's gonna. It jumped like 2,000 pips or some shit.
Yeah.
It was what the fuck.
I see my dog living it up in Italy.
Who is that?
Big T Lawrence. Gorilla Strength.
Oh, okay. He hasn't been out here in a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cause he vacationed.
Oh, okay.
He on the chat though.
Hey, Rakeel.
Hey.
Did the airline reimburse you for the extra stay in the hotel? They put you up?
No, they only reimburse you if it's a natural disaster. Oh no, if it's their fault. Like if it's something to do with nature, then they can't do anything about it, so they don't reimburse you for the hotel.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. Ooh, gold is going back up.
Like, dude, I'd be like, the runway is not that icy.
It was bad, man. It was really bad. Looks like gold's gonna push up here. The 1 hour candle. Oh, look at that!
Holy moly!
Holy!
Marjan, right? Stop late.
Finally, gold.
Finally, it's moving.
Ted said he just closed.
Yeah, I got some positions too.
my God! Somebody mute that woman,
John,
bro.
please mute your mic.
Man, my day went from negative 400 to positive $1,000.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Just before the news.
So the question is, the news could push it up to probably, well, it's not strong. CPI is not that strong, but I could see possibly going back to like 1490, somewhere around that area.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is going to be 1472 and then 1480.
Because you see this big drop, like,
Yeah.
if it wants to continue to go lower, I think we have to go up in that area to grab some gas to come back down.
Yeah, that motherfucking drop really fucked a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's like a two.
Coach, can you go back to the 5 minute on gold to see how Ted's thing played out? What you want to see? Thank you, Coach. I see. Okay, thank you. Wow.
This candle just suck. This 15-minute candle really suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it went below the previous one. Fucked everyone.
That 30 minute look ugly.
Oh, let me see. Let me see the torch guy.
Ugly.
Oh my God, he went from positive to like he's still holding those sales, man, at 1466.
See, I don't know. When my thing goes in positive, I just get anxiety to just secure that profit.
Yeah, man.
Same, Coach.
Like, look right here. It went up, and I closed, and I'm like, okay, you know what? There's news, there's resistance. It makes no sense to hold.
Like, look at GJ. He's in a buy in GJ. Like, I don't see why.
I think a buy on GJ made sense because it's holding support, but now the candle is...
Double bottom, support.
But now the candle has just come down.
Yeah, but for me to take buys, like, all right, so first of all, it's consolidating. That's one.
Yeah. Yes.
So technically, there shouldn't not be any buys right now unless it breaks the top or the bottom.
Yes. This box. When this candle was going bullish, I was expecting it to close heavy bullish. So I could take buys to go up, but it's not doing what I expected it to do.
I keep telling people, like, if the candles close side by side, there's no trade, man.
So if they're not forming higher highs or lower lows, don't stay out. Okay.
Yeah.
I learned quite a few things from Kivan, and one thing I learned from Kivan is that when candles look like barcodes, you gotta stay away because you're gonna pay the price.
Oh, it makes sense. Barcode price.
Yeah, barcode, you pay the price.
Nice. Like, look at GJ on the 1 hour, like.
GJ 1 hour. Yeah. 30 minute. I was expecting this 30 minute to for sure close strong bullish so I could take buys. But it's not. Why is this so hard?
This news might not even do anything. Let's see.
Free New York sessions. Free.
Hey, Rakeel, is anyone in that class was from Chicago?
Yes, we had 2 ladies. They were from Chicago. 3 ladies, actually.
3 ladies. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's news coming in right now.
Definitely. Ooh, my God. Little pop.
Will the pop continue? No. Will it? No. Yeah, I spoke to like 8 people. All of them told me to stay away from Southside. All of them said, "Oh, you don't want to go to Southside, man. Even I don't go to Southside." I mean, whoa, must be really bad.
Kind of half black, coach, so you good.
Yeah.
Nah, but you don't want to get mistaken for like a gang member or something like that.
I don't have any tattoos.
They just shot a rapper over there the other day, I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Man.
The problem is, I was talking to somebody. They say it's dangerous because those people can't aim right. So that's how you get shot, because they can't aim right.
They hold the guns tight, like
Yeah.
rap videos.
They don't want to shoot you. They want to shoot at each other, but they can't aim right, so you get shot. You know.
There is a lot of like casualties, like civilian casualties in Chicago when they have like gang shootouts. And stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
straight bullets hitting families, kids. You know, it's crazy.
yeah, and then I said, well, why don't they send the cops there? They said they do send the cops there. The rookie cops go there. Because no veterans wanna, like, you know, go to the south side, because that's like where all the rookies sent out to. They were robbing marathon runners in Chicago. Yeah, look at that. Look at that retarded, small, shitty clothes on GJ. Garbage. Garbage. I think sales on GJ would be better below like 139,400. I mean, it's just so hard.
Yeah, but look at the day.
I'm seeing bears for GBP in New York.
Yeah, like it's bearish, you know.
Support. Yeah.
Yeah, so once this breaks, it's coming down to like 139, even 200 in this whole liquidity area.
The market's probably stalling out until 10 o'clock. Powell speaks, testifying, I guess. So maybe.
Would that be for U.S. markets or basically the whole market? Man?
U.S.
Well, U.S.
USD.
U.S. pairs, yeah.
Yeah, like the gold and them.
Ooh, your JPY is coming back down in that consolidation area.
Say shit.
How small on EJ right now?
Nice. Oh, someone sent a chart. Santiago, if 30-minute closed bullish, buys should continue up. Yes, exactly. But it closed like a shitty little candle. Look at that. 100% someone took buys up over here, and now they're in drawdown. I think having buy stops and sell stops for news works when you have high volatility news, you know, like CPI, NFP, interest rates, sometimes ADP. News like PPI, it's a red folder, but it's not high volatility. Retail sales is high volatility, you know, speeches are high volatility. I made a post about this. I'm going to look for it and I'm going to repost it. It was actually a list of high volatility news where you can do pendings, but of course you have to keep in mind you will always get slipped. Always get slipped.
Fam, come on, mute yourself, fam. Man's put over there wrestling and shit. Be wrestling.
He's yeah, nothing happened with this news. I mean, it came out good, just like CPI. I don't know what's going on. See, the numbers were good. They were better than expected. So CPI was better than expected yesterday. PPI was better than expected yesterday. That should have dropped gold, but it's not. CPI yesterday did nothing. I think they're waiting for something big to happen. Definitely. My goal is 100 a day, kind of what my job gives me. I think if your goal is 100 a day, you should focus on maybe $5 a day from Forex, like 5, 10. And see how many days consistently you can do that. You know, because that's what's going to grow over time. You know, someone can say, oh yeah, it's only $5, but hey, you're printing $5 out of thin air. You know, so that's power. When you realize it in that perspective, that's power. You know, that's when I see new traders, like they go in profits, but they don't secure profits. It's just like you don't understand the power of like trading and Forex in general.
Yeah, that's what I understand. Like, they don't understand consistent. It don't matter what size account you have. If you're consistent, you're good.
Yep, you're good. Alright, I'll be right back. No disrespect, but haven't you guys heard of pullback? Gold had to pull back. It's still gonna drop. Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with that only because you haven't sent a chart. You haven't sent a chart. If you send a chart, we have conversations based on charts, not just by random statements or numbers. You know, even in my group, when someone tries saying that, oh, this is going to do this, I say, hey, where's the chart? Show us a chart. You know what I'm saying?
Plus, you have to understand that he says gold has to pull back. Gold doesn't have to do anything.
That's also true.
It doesn't have to do anything. When you say it has to do something, that you're going to get a really good lesson in the markets if you think it has to do something.
Gold does whatever it wants to do.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I could say that it has to do this or it has to do that. I'd be
a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly. Then we'll just take the position and just wait till it goes back.
And then we'll just tell it, you have to do this for me.
That's right. EJ and Gold are the ones that do whatever they want.
All you can do is trade the best quality setups you can. That's all you can do. But it's at the end of the day, it's an educated guess.
Yep, that's true. Like looking at right now, the 1 hour have like, you know, they're creating support. So just by looking at this, as long as they're bullish, it seems like gold's gonna go up. You know, it's if they start to go bearish, then you start to change your sentiment that okay, now maybe candles are closing bearish, and that may overall turn the 4 hour continue bearish. Oh, look at that, pumped up a little bit. You know,
yeah, someone says we follow the market, we don't guide it. Yeah.
Yes.
Unless you have trillions of dollars that when you place a position you can actually move it yourself, then you just kind of, you know.
What's this here? Someone sent a chart. Made the support, made a mistake, no wick to the bottom. Oh yeah. Marvins, you got caught.
Someone said go to the 4 hour chart. What's the 4 hour? It's closing in 30 minutes. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, but all these guys, they're not sending charts.
Right.
If you don't send charts with your thoughts, it doesn't make sense. You know, like you need to send charts. I mean, fuck, man. In the morning, I took one sell, I got roasted. And then I took buys. You know, so you have to send charts. This is why we are all here. You know, if you're gonna say, "Oh, this is gonna do this," you can do this on Wayne's stream, not over here.
Yeah, we should.
You need to send charts.
You should do on Wayne's stream and say, "This is my plan A, this is my plan B, and then this is my plan C."
He comes back the next day. Look, guys, plan C worked.
Yeah. But actually, he'll come back the next day and say, "I actually created a plan D while you guys were gone, and that one worked."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's inconvenient. Yeah. Just look at gold. It like, put your hand on the screen. This is what my friend here, his name starts with Ted and ends with Ed. He told me to put my hand on the screen, and if the price is moving from the bottom left to the top right, that means it's trending up. So if everyone here who thinks it's a sell, put your hands on the screen. And if you see that, you see it's going to go up.
I believe he said, put your hand where the price starts or end. I don't remember how he said it, but put your hand on the left hand side of the screen, the left bottom or whatever, the price is up in there. That's the call a hand indicator.
Hand indicator. So when people say gold has to do this to do that, you have to see that, okay, on what time frames do you want candles to form in a certain way, where you can say that, okay, if candles do certain things, then it's going to be a sell. But if candles don't do certain things, then it's not going to be a sell. Because I understand where that thinking is coming from. It's coming from the fact that, okay, we think it's a sell, but what we see, it's not a sell currently. You know, it could be a sell, but currently it's not a sell. That's what we see. So there's a big difference between thinking and seeing. Like, you know, like when you trade what you think and trade what you see. Yeah, there we go. Someone did that for us. See, now it's gonna, I mean, if it breaks 1470, then it's just gonna go up. The 1 hour candles, you know, made this, like those rejections, those liquidity, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The news did nothing. Tensions are high. We also read this here on the right hand side here. Gold turned to growth. See, over last week was plenty unsuccessful for gold. Oh yeah, look, see, it's going up now. Once it breaks this, actually I'm gonna get coffee and let's see where gold is at that point.
But until you start seeing wicks to the top side, right to the top of the candle, until you start seeing that consistently, because the pattern right now is just a momentum candle to the upside, and until you start seeing rejection, there's no reason to believe it's going to go down.
conference call and all hell breaks loose on these turns. Everybody's panicking. People are crying. Oh, gold's going down. People are stupid. Gold's going down. Gold's going down. Oh no. Gold's not going down. Gold's stuck in this range. So what I did was I drew out this area for everybody. This area here of liquidity is connected to this area of liquidity. Okay, so you have to understand those relationships, right? So if you were to turn around and do this, which everyone knows, I like to say the word turn around. This would be your previous support, right? We can all agree that this is previous support. This is a stale zone. So when you think about how markets work, this is a stale zone. This now, on the other side of these candles, becomes a fresh zone. So because you're tapping into a stale zone on the left, on the right it becomes a fresh zone. So you have to understand how these zones work and what's happening with these kind of opportunities. At any given time, the trade, a buy is valid anywhere here, providing we don't break this new zone because it's from the stale zone. So if you keep that in mind, you will find that you'll have positive outcomes. Like when the trade pulled down over here, yeah, you damn straight I took more buys. It makes sense because think about it. If this candle now starts to pull back up, you're now just leaving that zone one more time. Okay, and you have to understand how zones work. So your zone, if you were to map this out, right, and you were to say, okay, explain to me what a zone is, Ted. A zone is, this is where you have orders, right? So orders are coming into that zone. So at any given time, larger institutions want to take orders in those lower price regions, right? You as a retail trader, you start freaking out because you start to see, and this is what happens, you start to see these candles going down, right? But the problem is you're not thinking clearly to say where are they going and why does that make logical sense? So the institutions are pushing those orders down to then say, okay, now that we have sufficient orders, we can now release them and move in this direction. Because you have buying pressure, okay? When you have buying pressure, what ends up happening is people are taking orders at lower price levels. Nobody wants to buy up here. Like nobody wants to buy at the target. It doesn't make any sense. Think logically. If you're gonna hold this trade for a longer period of time, what you're gonna do is you're gonna inject volume into the market to drive the market down for a period of time and then allow the market to release to pop back up. You have to understand that concept. Nobody wants to buy over here. Institutions don't want to buy over here. Institutions are going to buy over there once this area over here is exhausted. That's why when we look at this range and we turn around and we look at these levels, at any given point, this is your range. This is a range of trading. Now, if you're just trading on the hour time frame or you're just trading on the 30-minute time frame, you have to respect this new range or this new zone. You have to respect that zone because at any given time, we're going to drive back down into here potentially to then gather price to move in this direction. But if you're holding long term, so if you're holding off the 4-hour or the daily, this area here doesn't matter. This area here is irrelevant. It doesn't make any difference to you. But the problem is everybody's scalping, right? Which there's nothing wrong with that. Don't say, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but everybody's scalping this area here to effectively this area here. And what you're doing is you're getting greedy because once you tap this area here, and it's exactly what I've said numerous times, you have to exit because this is what happens. The candle looks all stupid and confused. If you're holding, like I said, longer time frames, this is great. This idea here where we're starting to push a little bit further up each time and we're just making little steps is great because now what will happen is your next set of candles in most instances, so let me just erase this. Yeah. So if these are our zones. In most instances, our next set of candles will maybe be a little bit higher now, right? So when you look at the next candle will be a little bit higher, and your key at this point will be where the wick is finishing each time, because what that will allow you to say is now, and I draw this a lot on my charts, like when I've done refreshers with people, is I draw this, is, you know, Timmy is the trader. Timmy Trader is here, right? Timmy Trader is here. He's stuck in the pool. He's swimming in the pool here. Then Timmy Trader decides to leave, and he decides to go chase Debbie does Dallas, and he chases her, and then he keeps chasing her, and eventually he's no longer in the pool. So that's how you have to get used to mapping out your charts and mapping out these ideas. And then you say, well, Ted, how can I understand when we're leaving these liquidity areas? Well, this comes from experience, right? So once again, if I draw out this area of liquidity, right? And actually, sorry, let me get it exact the way I want it. It's going to be this area here. So this exact area of liquidity, right? Technically speaking, this is the whole area of liquidity. If you think about it logically, what we're doing is we're covering all these wicks, right? So you're covering all these wicks. That's basically your level of liquidity. But for simplicity's sake, I do this, right? Let's make it easy on everybody, and let's do something like this. And the reason why I do that is because you can see currently right now, these candles are really not dipping any further past this area here, but I'm aware that we can drop this low. I'm aware of that. Why? Because you can see where we have liquidity on this side here. So now that I understand that, I draw my zone. So I have my zone, and my zone, once again, you know, if we see a little bit closer, this technically could be part of your zone as well. So, you know, we have this area here. So we have extra areas part of our zone. But for the most part, what I want to focus on is I want to focus on how these candles are finishing, right? And this is your key. So you had this candle down here low, this candle down here a little higher, this candle here a little higher, this candle here a little higher. So knowing that we have that information, we don't have enough confluence to say, hey, we're going to break above this and we're going to go up, because of the way these candles are finishing. And this is where, when you look at the bodies of the candles, you see that there's not really any strength in price moving. And what does it mean? It means that there's a struggle between your buyers and your sellers, right? So we understand that. Now what we do is, when we look at our higher time frames, you know, our 4 hour or daily, we can see that the trend is bullish. So what we can deduce from that is that price is starting to leave areas to continue to travel up. But the problem is, as a retail trader, we don't know when that's happening. So you are going to get stuck in this range here until we break out. And then what you do is, when you look at the higher time frames, like where Keel's drawing out right now, you're going to find that, hey, this whole area, this whole area here is the zone on the higher time frames. We are leaving that zone based on this candle here, but there's a potential that we could tap back in, but the tap won't be that deep, or it shouldn't be that deep. If we believe we're going bullish, the next tap will be a little bit less, because you can see the tap over here versus the tap over here, right? We didn't go deep into that previous zone. So when you look at that, and when you examine it a little bit more closely, now you can say, hey, if this candle doesn't break up above this area over here, so the current candle that we have, if this candle here doesn't break above this area here, we're probably going to have to tap a little bit more into that zone. So you as a trader have to make a decision. Hey, I'm swing trading and I'm going all the way to 1480, so I have to make sure my stops are essentially below this liquidity area, because at any given time we can dip further back into that liquidity area. If I'm scalping, I have to say, listen, I have to be very cautious
of this resistance area right here because we're not breaking it. So anytime I get close to it, I have to make a decision to close my trades and then turn around and manage it again until we get a proper breakup. And you say, well, Ted, how can I hold my trade then if I don't know when it's going to break up? Well, this is where you have to then figure out what's my risk versus what's my reward. And this is where you have to hold. And in the case of this scenario here, with this candle going back down and dipping down, you want it to dip down now. You want to be able to close at the top, at the highest point where you see rejection, but now you want it to dip down because what you allow yourself to do is take better entries in this lower area and then say, hey, if I can take an entry at 1465, perfect. Because then now I can place my stop at 1462, which is a 30 pip drop. And I know for the most part, if we are going up, we're going to 1480, now I have a huge risk to reward. And that's how you would manage to trade a little bit better. But you can't turn around and say at this point, well, you know, I'm just going to take a buy over here and I hope that we're going to break this up. You can't do that because we don't have enough information that we're breaking up. Because if you think logically and you think this through, here you go. So you have consolidation, breakout, right? We had consolidation, we had breakout. So if this turns into consolidation, now you're stuck before the next breakout. That's what you're running into, and that's where you have to be a little bit more cognizant of where you are in the trading day and understanding that we're also on Thursday, maybe Friday, we might pull up a little bit more, but understanding those relationships, where you would have taken trades, you should have been taking trades over here. If you were really looking for gold, you would have been taking trades over here or taking trades over here, knowing that we're going up, and you would have been looking at the daily candle and you would have seen this on the daily candle. You would have seen the candle basically finishing like this, right? So the last daily candle finished like this, you know, and we had bullish movement. So we had bullish movement, and what you would have done is you would have said this: once we break back into this bullish wick, I would have taken orders over here at this point, and then what I would do is I would ride it all the way back up, and then my stop loss would be probably over here somewhere at that point, and that's how you would have managed your trade. But now, coming into this area here, you're going to get stuck in a range, and you have to be willing to accept that. And if you're going to take a trade in a range, you have to realize that your stops are probably going to be over here, and maybe you might get up to here again before it breaks out. But if it does break out, what you're doing then maybe is you're doing this. You're saying, hey, I'm going to place a buy stop above this area here, perhaps, if I start to see momentum to push up, or more importantly, I'm going to put buy stops over here in this area here around 1468, 1469, and then what I can do is I can manage my stop loss, and then my stop will be, you know, a little bit less than if I try and take a buy stop, and then my stop loss is more in that way, right? So you want these candles to drop further, because what you want to be able to do ultimately is be able to take buys at this lowest price over here. You don't want to take buys up over here. It makes no sense because we haven't shown enough interest to say we're going to break out. But once we do break out, then you're looking to take buys over here at this lowest point as we start to continue to trail further up. Okay, so hopefully that helps you. But I mean, people were taking buys. These were perfect buys because we weren't breaking support. So you know we're going to go up. It's just gold is finicky. Gold is very difficult, and gold doesn't always run like a trend. And when it does, yeah, you make a lot of money. But when it sits in ranges like this, you have to be able to play the range, and you have to be able to be comfortable with closing like 8 or 9 pips and say, hey, that's it, or moving your stop to break even and getting stopped out like 25 times in a row until one of them takes off. Like, you have to get used to that. And if you're trading gold, that's the most important thing I can tell you, is get used to being stopped out in profits like a million times. And don't hold trades. You don't have to. Just move your stop loss, because if gold is going to take off, it takes off. It literally will run, and you don't have to worry about that. But the idea is, once again, is put yourself in a position to win and say, where are we going with the overall trend, and keep trying to take a position, but manage the position and manage your stop loss. Like this week, I've been stopped out of gold, I think, like 9 times. It doesn't bother me because I haven't lost money, I'm just waiting. When one of it hits, it will move, and then I'll make bank on it. And that's sort of the idea, and that's what you get used to as you trade gold, is getting used to getting stopped out.
Ted, when you're in profits on gold, do you immediately have your stop loss?
At this point, I do. I have to, because you're in such a tight range. I don't want this bouncing back and crushing me. It doesn't make any sense. When we're trending and gold has strong bearish candles on the hourly or maybe the 4 hour, then yeah, it's okay. You can start moving it. Right now, as an example, if I take a buy over here, obviously my stop loss is going to be over here. But once I get into over here, I move my stop loss like right there, right away, and I'll close. And if it comes back to my stop loss, I end up getting 1 pip profit or 1.5 pips profit. It's nothing. It's a waste of time. But I'm not looking at trying to take losses to hold a bigger trade, because at the end of the day, when you look at the way gold moves based on the range, if I know this range here is going to be like, I guess it would be 20 pips at this point, right? That would be our range. When I do my probability and I do my percentages, after 5 pips, if I'm 5 pips in profit, I move my stop loss, because I only have a 20 pip range. So we're either going to go all the way up to 20 pips where I can turn around and say, okay, I take my profit, or we're going to break out, or we're going to just rip right back down again. And that's it. You have to get used to that. And where you move your stop loss, whether it's 5 pips, 4 pips, 3 pips, 2 pips, is your comfort level. You have to determine what makes sense for you. I move my stop loss to maybe 1 or 2 pips in profit, because at this point, if it takes off, I'm good. But if it doesn't, I know that I haven't lost anything, and it was just basically a bullshit trade. Like, the trade didn't make sense. That's how I look at it. And I say, listen, I was hoping the trade would break out. It didn't break out, and I'm done. And I'm also looking for breakout trades at particular times. Like, I'm not taking a breakout trade right now. Like, I'm not looking at that, because right now it's 9 a.m. and we're not close to the New York Open yet, the NYSE Open. So maybe I'm looking for a breakout trade at 9:15, because now we're getting movement to go further up. Same thing at 8 o'clock. I'm looking to see, hey, if we drop down and we start moving up, then I'll take trades, because I know 8 o'clock is the new North American Open for currency, so we're going to get a big push up, and I know that we're going to have that liquidity to move through. So these are things you have to combine: the timing of the market, the time frames that you're working on, or where you are, whether it's a 15, 30 minute or hour, and then what is the range in this area. You have to put all those pieces together so that you're able to say, hey, what will give me that best opportunity? So, where are we at in the market? What is my range? What is my target? Does it make sense based on higher time frame movement? So that's what I'm always doing. I'm going through my head. I'm giving myself that opportunity. It's the reason why when we close the stream at 9:30 or 10 o'clock, I'm not really looking for opportunities anymore, because if the opportunity was there, we were already found it. If the opportunity comes in late, yeah, you can evaluate it if it makes sense, but 9 times out of 10, the opportunity isn't much greater than what was already established earlier on. Ideally, if you want to take trades, once again, we know that this area here is a super hard support. So, if you want to be funny, you take buys anywhere in this area here and you hold until it breaks out, right? So you're going to be sitting around doing this for a while. I don't want to do that. I don't care for it. It doesn't make sense to me. If I know that this range is this area here, I'll definitely just take a trade, close here, and then be done with it and say, okay. And if it breaks up, well, great, I missed a trade. It doesn't matter, because I was just targeting this area here. And if I really want that trade to go further up, I have to then look at my higher time frames to see what makes sense. And currently, looking to the left, it doesn't look like we may break up a little bit further. You might find that it might be a little bit more difficult. Looking at the daily, it seems like we hit the daily range. Looking to the candle to the left that was bearish, we've come back into into that zone. So we might find that we pull back, and then tomorrow we break through that zone and we go to 1474. If you know that that's the case, if you know that we're going to 1474 and you're right now in at 1467, you know that basically you can hold over here at 1464. You can have a 30 pip stop loss, and you'll have, you know, essentially a 70 pip gain at that point. So you have a 2-to-1 risk to reward, and once we break above these areas, you can start placing your stop loss, because you know that probably we're gonna, once you get above this area here, stop loss placement will be there, and then you'll be 100% in profit and not having to really worry about, you know, where the trade actually goes if it makes it to 1474, because you've already locked in profit at that point. You've locked in 20 or 30 pips profit.
Jeez.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work to trade. I mean, but once you understand the steps and the process, I mean, it's very straightforward, because all you're doing is repeating the same thing over and over again. But if you don't know the basics on how each of these items work, or what to anticipate, or how to anticipate these ideas, it's very difficult. It's very cumbersome, and it's very overwhelming, because people are trying to take trades right now, and they're, I don't know what's happening. How come this isn't going up? How come this isn't doing this? And you get stuck in trades, and that's where people lose a lot of their money, because of the fact that you know, they make these mistakes. Gold dropping. Gold is not dropping. I mean, I just spent 20 minutes talking about how gold
I was just like, Ted repeats the same stuff for the past 2 years. I don't know. He marks up his chart the exact same way. He doesn't change anything. Like, that's what you guys fail to understand. He repeats the same thing over and over and over again. Like, if you guys could get the basic of just repeating the same setup that makes you profitable, then you'll be a good trader. Like, Ted didn't change anything. Find go on YouTube and pull up one of Rakeel's old webinar, and I guarantee you, I will bet you $1,000. Exact same thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, that's why you guys fail, because you guys want to find stuff that's not there. Like, trade the same exact way you trade yesterday. You were profitable. Just repeat it. Like, if it works for you, do it. Don't change it.
Yeah, it's you're right, Kavan. It's people are trying to, you know, they're trying to rearrange, or they're trying to find out new ways to do something, and really it just comes down to the fact that when you look at the simplistic way the market moves, it's either going up or going down. And it's very simplistic that way. And the more chart time you have, and the more experience you have, the easier way you get to examine the market and trade. What is this? Where are the Google Drive docs? Well, Patrick, you are in the Forex family. It's on the website, so you should have all that information on there.
See, GJ did nothing the whole day.
GJ printed gold.
And the day that the market doesn't make any sense to you, you just stay away from it.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yep. Agreed. Couldn't agree more. Kavan spits truth. Torch holder added another short position. Oh, that's good. The torch is going to be extinguished very soon. Hey Ted, if you're only up 3 pips, you'd move stop loss to break even. It's not that, it's how the market's moving. Like, if we don't have clean moves and I want to take a trade, I have to secure my positions. Like right now with gold's not moving very cleanly. So if I recognize that on the shorter time frames and it's very choppy, I'm not willing to risk money in a choppy market. I'm willing to risk more when we have a market that's trending and the 5-minute candles aren't printing barcodes. So it's how the market structure looks is how I'll move my stop loss. And this is the thing, there's no hard and fast rule for me. Sometimes I hold my trades. Sometimes I move my stop loss to break even right away. It's based on what I see happening in the market and where we are in timing, what day is it, where are we at resistance or support levels? What do I see fundamentally happening? There's so much more that goes into it than just saying, okay, today I'm moving my stop loss always to 2 pips in profit or always 5 pips in profit. The idea is you're fluid in the market to say, I want to take a trade. It's a very, very tough market to trade in right now. But if we do break out of this, I'm going to have a profitable trade, but I don't want my capital on the line. In this instance here, if I take a trade right over here, I take a buy right over here, I'm not as soon as I can get into profits, I'm looking to secure my profits right away. I'm looking to move my stop loss because you can see all these rejection areas here, right? Based on the way the candles are printing, it's going to be very, very tough for price to push through that. And that is the difficulty. But if you recognize that, you know that, hey, if we do pop up over here, then great, you know, like I can move my stop loss. But this is different than trading this rejection here and then we're flying up with this candle here. Like if you look at the scenarios, this is an easy trade. This is an easy trade. These are difficult trades. These are difficult trades, right? So if you recognize that, it doesn't mean that you can't trade those areas. It just means when you're trading them, you have to be more cognizant of what is happening in the market. That's your key. So in the instance over here, so let's like look at this example over here. So this is a perfect example. Over here, I'm not moving my stop loss really. Okay, I'm gonna let it run. Why? Because this candle is my catalyst for a big move. So I know that. And knowing that I see that big move coming, when I take a trade at this point over here and it flies up, yeah, I'll move my stop once we get past over here because I know that we're going to fill these wicks based on the fact that we had a massive rejection at the bottom. So that's a different scenario than what we're looking at over here. So when you turn around and look at where I should be moving my stop losses, you have to look at and say to yourself, well, what makes the most sense? Like this to me, this area over here is a cleaner move than this area over here. So here I'm going to be more cautious in this area here than I would be over here. And that's just because we have that huge rejection. And when you look at this liquidity, there was a huge rejection of liquidity right there, and we know that price has to go somewhere now. Whereas here, there was only like a small little dip in liquidity and price moved. So now we're stuck, you know, grabbing liquidity over here at this point. That's all.
Yeah, I usually let it run too if it goes in like, you know, 7-8 pip profits. And if, like, let's say looking left, if there's a clear range, if I see that there's still room for it to move up, then I'm just gonna probably let it run. I think a good example is going to be on GJ here. Let's say if this GJ breaks support, and if you look left on the 4-hour, there's like the next area of interest could be like, you know, 139, 300. Then I might put the stops at break even, like let's say after like 10-15 pips. Be like, okay, I'm going to secure that and let the rest run. So as it's coming down here, that would make sense.
But Ted says something very important to you guys too, and we have to understand is obviously you want to be fluid in the markets, but if you see that big green candle on gold and there's no wick or tail on it, there's no reason to set your stops or get out of the trade until it hits another rejection area or it starts rejecting with rejection candles. But that's a momentum candle that Ted showed you those 2 times. Why would you get out of that trade, or why would you do anything? Until you start seeing signs that they're going to reject it, there's no reason to not be in that trade.
See the way GJ is forming now. It's breaking below the support. Gotta wait to see if this 30-minute candle closes bearish. That has to close bearish. Man, who is this person? This is Mr. Christian Circle. Christian Circle, you emailed me your chart, man. I think you need to post it here on YouTube. Please don't email me charts. New Zealand cat forming a head and shoulder. Lorenzo Bennett. See how you wrote this description about New Zealand cat, but you didn't post a chart. You know, so your description here makes no sense at all, because a lot of people won't be able to, you know, they'll just ignore this. I can guarantee you that, you know, because when you send a chart, we're all going to look at the chart and we're all going to say, oh wow, Lorenzo has some awesome analysis. You know, so just by reading your comments here, like, I did this, did that. I mean, it just makes no sense. Like, you need to provide a chart. Like, imagine if the stream was just a blank screen and we just talked. How fun that would be. You know, that wouldn't be much fun, would it? So I can fax you my chart. I'm from India. Yeah, sure. Fax it in. I'll go to my next Western Union and I'll get your fax maybe later on today. We'll look at it.
You should do that one day. It's funny when you say that, like having a blank screen, because as soon as your chart isn't on your screen, people freak out and they're like, I can't see. But then when we ask people to send charts, people are like, why do I have to do that? Yeah. It's funny. I always see that where, you know, if there's no live stream, where's the live stream? As soon as there's something different, everybody complains. And then when you ask them to do one simple thing and follow rules, they can't do that. And then people are like, why is everyone getting so angry at me? Because if you turn off your stream right now and you just have a blank screen, people are going to be losing their shit. They're going to be like, I can't see anything. What's going on? I need to see the chart. What's happening? How come I don't know what's happening? What pair is this? What are we doing? So it just makes sense. Just, you know, everybody should just follow the rules. And the thing is, too, I mean, if you have charts that if you've done trades, you can also post trades that you've completed and talk about your win or your loss. That's okay too. Like, you don't have to just post analysis. You can post winning and losing trades, and read through it. I sent a chart, but you don't want to view it.
Maybe you didn't send it the right way.
Tell us, Ted, about Manny G. I think you mentioned him a while back. Is he legit? Can you share your thoughts, please? I believe he knows how to code algorithms. I have a little bit of contention with the fact that these algorithms that are being built have no stop losses. That's my only concern. But if you ask for the track records and you speak to him and ask for references, he will be able to help you out there. I don't like to say negative or positive things about people. I know Manny personally. I've hung out with him. I've talked to him. We've had discussions about his algorithms and how they work. And that's basically about it. I think he's really good at what he does. There's some things that I would fix. But if you're comfortable with those things that he's not fixing, then yeah, it makes sense.
If I'm eating, fam, then everybody's eating, fam. I break bread, fam. I get dollars and I make sure my people are good, not just me.
Man, we gotta take him out for dinner one day. Bucks people.
Who the hell is that?
Oh, this guy in Toronto, he's a famous person.
Now he's famous, yeah.
Yo, I wasn't just famous right now, fam. I got famous off of 6 bars in recent times on IG, but the first time I was famous was on Facebook when I was in grade 8. There was a group on Facebook called Sweeties.
Sweeties?
And you would post your picture in the group. And the gal them would like your picture and add you on Facebook and try to holla. But the man them would roast you if you post your pic in that group. Because it's called Sweeties. And you used to chinks your eyes. And you used to hold your finger like this and take a pic. And they would
Hey, hedge Bitcoin.
Hedge Bitcoin.
Take profits and stop loss adjustment. Hey, send me that script.
Bitcoin. Haven't seen Bitcoin in a while.
Let me see what's here.
Is Bitcoin at 100K yet? Oh, 8,000. See, now when you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is now creating market structure because it's normal now. Look at that. Now it's creating some normal market structure.
Is SMBFX Simon's Telegram?
Yes.
I gotta tell Simon to send that over.
Honestly, I went to school for media in college, and social media was one of the classes, and the lady was trying to teach you how to get famous. She even brought a famous person to the class, fam. But all I can remember is to post 4 times a day so people know you're still there, fam. Honest.
Post 4 times a day so people know you're still there. That's a good advice, though.
For those that know, yo, this is not all Toronto man, so I'm just telling you that now.
Yeah.
I did a lot in life. First, I was a baller. Then I had clientele.
No, this is he has 30,000 followers.
I know, he has a lot of followers. He has more followers than I do.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck is a guy like this guy? Oh,
Man, because he has life advice. Listen to this.
This world is fucked up, man.
Listen to this.
Yo, I got the name Bucky.
No, hold on.
Come on, if you got Rakeel putting him on his story, that means something.
Yeah, it's very important.
I guess.
Let me tell you the story.
That dude is
about
black?
when I took
I would
a
never
girl
have
to
seen
the
that.
movies, and the man them were
He
there.
has the polo sticker
So
still
I
on.
took a girl to the movies, fam. The man them were there. I was trying to flex on the short.
He knows like a yard man either, though.
If I
I thought it was an Asian guy speaking this whole time.
Yeah, like Bobby.
Don't kill me. Bro, it's like, yo, what are you showing this to? We're supposed to be talking about trading.
Bam, bam.
Alright, what's this? Did you ever get my MT5 script for TP stuff? Oh, this is what Ted was in. Yeah, no, I didn't. I'm gonna look at it later on today. I'm actually building something with someone.
Send it over to me, Rakeel.
It's not done yet. I will. It's gonna be the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever.
Nothing's better than sliced bread, man.
That's true too. Will you share the high impact news list? Oh yes, I'm gonna share it on my Instagram later on. Did you do a lot of trading last year, January, April? Oh yeah, I remember like all years we traded straight up till Christmas. Like 2016, 17, 18. I don't know about 2019. I'm going to Pakistan, so I won't be doing that.
How long you going for? A week or two?
Week and a half. Yeah, I'm gonna leave.
You bringing the fam with you?
No, it's just me. Short trip. My sister, she's getting married, so there's gonna be a lot of flying around. I mean, we're gonna be flying within the country as well a couple times. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be just me.
You know those Pakistan weddings are big, man.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that, GJ. GJ is not breaking support because candle is not closing below support. See, fam? So when the candle closes bullish, fam, that's going to give you an idea it's going to go up, fam. But you want to wait for the candle to close. Because if it doesn't close bullish, fam, then it's no buys. Life is simple, fam. Keep trading that way too. I'm going to try to reach out to him, try to teach him how to trade. He's going to come on.
Make sure you hit the like button on YouTube.
Yes, make sure you give that thumbs up over there. 3 people took losses today, so they gave 3 dislikes. Very nice.
Gold went up again.
Where? Ooh, it's up again. No sell.
Notice. Also, if you pay attention, the 1 hour wicks are closing higher.
You know what we also talked about on the weekend? We talked about nothing candles. And this is a good example of a nothing candle, this one. Because it opened and closed at the same price. So when this candle appears, what you do is that you do this. You just do this.
Yep, agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's actually a very, very good assumption.
Yeah, that's a nothing. That whole hour was a waste of time.
That's right.
Will you enter if it's near the end of the NY session? Would you stay out? I'm out right now. I'm not looking to enter anything unless it breaks above 1470 or 1471. But still, that's very low probability that I'm going to enter. Steve Nissen called that nothing candle indecision. I don't know who Steve Nissen is, but yeah, it's the same idea.
Is the guy that brought the Japanese candlesticks to America.
Using the art of using candlesticks. Nice. Yeah, everything I've learned about candles is just by watching them form and just like formulating my own ideas. And it's interesting that they were actually like, done by Steve Nissen right now.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. When people ask us, how did you become good or how did you become consistent? You just you follow your own path. You figure out what makes sense in your mind, and then you find out that later on some of those ideas are similar to other people's, but because you figured it out yourself, it's stronger in your mind. you have a more clearer idea of what's happening because you've experienced it and you've adapted to certain things. And I think that's the biggest thing people have to take from trading is reading all these books. What happens is you apply the theory of those books, and what ends up happening is when that theory is shifted a bit, you panic because you don't understand what's happening with that. Whereas when you learn on your own and you experience it, you then formulate your own thoughts in terms of, oh yeah, I've seen this happen before, and you're not confined by one set of rules or, well, because the candle's doing this, it has to do that. And I think that's what these books teach you, is they teach you these different patterns, and they say, well, because it's doing this, now it's going to go over here, and this is what's going to happen. Whereas if you don't have that information, you find that it makes more sense in your head because you're not confined to saying this is what's always going to happen. You're more fluid, and you say, well, I see that we're rejecting here, we're going up here. There's a probability we're going to move in that direction, instead of trying to say, well, it's a head and shoulders pattern or an engulfing pattern, so it's going to engulf. Because when it doesn't, now you panic because you've set up your trade just on that one particular idea, and that idea has failed. Whereas if you're more fluid, you don't have to worry about a particular idea. You're looking to say, hey, if the candle moves from this area, this is my target over here. I'm not worried about engulfing pattern, head and shoulders, Batman, Robin, like all those different patterns. You're looking at the fact that, hey, which target at a price level makes sense? And you look at price and you say, okay, well, I can see clearly here we're struggling at these points. So if I'm taking a buy down here, I'm probably going to have to exit probably up over here somewhere, because I can see that there's a struggle. Not that, well, this is an inverse head and shoulders, and now we're finishing the ABCD leg of this area here, and now we're going to E, and then F and G is over here. Like, it doesn't make sense, because you confine yourself where technically all you could do is this. Here's your idea, and once we get to this point right over here, chances are I'm going to have to close. And if I'm super smart, I know that there's an element of error probably over here somewhere, because I can see the last candles didn't quite make it up to that point. So putting all that information together, probably I'll have to close maybe around here, or just a little bit below this candle over here to be safe, because I'm not confident right now that it's going to break out of this range. Why do you guys fear swing trading? I don't think anybody fears swing trading. I think people just have choices on what they want. Is there a reason why you don't use fibs within your trading style? Because I just explained that. It just you're confining yourself and making these ideas and assumptions, and then when it doesn't work out, now you're confused and you have nothing left to do. Not sure if this has been covered before. You have any links to check out, but paying tax on Forex profit, what's your best approach to maximize profits? Well, I think, Colin, you have to speak to your local accountant, and they will provide you information on how you can maximize profits.
Vikash is no for the first 3 months. Vikash was struggling sending charts. Then he started to send charts, and now Vikash he doesn't like us now. Good luck losing money, suckers. Vikash from India. It's actually Losing, not Loosing.
He tries to insult people with bad grammar and spelling. Oh, I love that. I've always told people, if you're going to try and insult or roast somebody, make sure your grammar's correct, your spelling's correct, and you don't have any errors in what you're saying, because that sort of negates any sort of possible insult that you're throwing at somebody.
Because then you get roasted back.
That's right. Do we have to pay taxes in the UK? I don't know.
I live in Canada.
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't paid taxes right now, no one's really bothered you. I mean, you know, if a tree falls in the forest and doesn't make a sound, does it really? Did it really fall?
That's why I do my roasting by talking, because I can't spell.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna roast people, don't spell it out. There's a bigger chance for errors.
Yeah, just say it, because you're not gonna make a mistake saying it. Ted, I was going to say something earlier, though. That stuff you were talking about, liquidity and where people who move the market are getting into trades, was probably some of the best stuff I've heard in a long time. That was really good. Everyone should have listened to that. And if you didn't, stop trading, because that was
It is, because it comes back to when I used to play poker and understanding my opponent. And my opponent has patterns. And once you recognize those patterns, it becomes easy to decipher, and you can make objective plays based on those patterns. And in that case with liquidity, you know that if price is returning to that area, but we are in a trend, a bullish trend, and we're dipping down, when you think, okay, what is my opponent doing? You start to clue in a little bit more, and as you see that often, you say to yourself, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, he's dropping over here because we're planning to go up, and that's what we were trying to do. And it's like right now, like gold pulled down a bit, but it just pulled back into that liquidity area. And now you think to yourself, okay, well, why did gold just do that? Oh, it's the New York Stock Exchange open. So we've had an influx of orders come through. Is this the real move now to go down? Or should I wait to see if we break that area? But more importantly, now I can put pending orders at like 1468 or 1469, and I can allow them to rip up if we are now grabbing orders again on the downside to go further up. It's just those things of understanding what your opponent's doing, and you're able then to dissect and say, hey, that's where I think the market is moving at that point.
But then you also have to determine who your opponent is, because most people think if I'm thinking about it, I want to think like the big banks. And so if I'm thinking like the big banks, my opponents are the retail traders. So I want to know what they're doing, and I want to know what they're, when they're taking trades, because they're my opponent.
Right.
But most people think, oh no, the big banks are my opponent. No, they're not. You want to trade alongside the big banks. You want to figure out where they're getting. You want to figure out where they're getting into entries, and they're not buying right now. They're not buying gold right now. They bought gold $5 ago.
That's right. That's exactly it. They're just you're now coming in late to the party, and you have to survive sort of what I call the institutional jet wash as we start to move from different liquidity areas. And you can clearly see where gold was bought. Gold was bought at 1446. You can clearly see that. It's as clear as day. There was a massive drop there on the daily, and it pulled all the way out bullish, and the last 2 days have been bullish. So with that being said, when you look at, the next day, chances are the next day is going to go bullish, and we're going to complete sort of this whole liquidity run. If you look from liquidity from 1460 to 1474, there's a huge liquidity gap there that we're just going to fill on gold, and that's from the daily. You can see that there's a huge liquidity candle on, like, I guess it's August 6th. There's a huge candle October 1st, and now there's now we're coming back up again. You can see that on the daily. If Rakeel pulls up the daily, you can sort of see where those liquidity grabs were. So Rakeel has it right here. So you can see this is all liquidity grabs, right? And you can see this was the last liquidity grab to now go back up. And then you say to yourself, well, where's my target going to go? Well, chances are this area here, the last part of your area here, is going to be the final push for liquidity at that point. So if we know that, and if you're a smart trader, you know that this candle's probably going to struggle, but more than likely we're going to fill this wick here, which will fill this area here, and then probably push up a little bit more, and then this will bounce around here, will bounce up and down or whatever we'll do, and then we'll fly further up. And then all you're doing is you're looking to the left again and saying, oh, where's the next liquidity grab, or where's the next area of rejection that we should be going up. And then more than likely, when you're close enough and looking left, you'll see there's a clear path right here. So you have a clear path there. So the next candle should probably mimic that clear path from that bearish candle right there. So let me do this a little bit better. So this bearish candle here, we should probably get a bullish candle somewhere over here or structure like that, because what you find is you have this dip down here and then right back up to here, and you have that triangle. But in the meantime, you also have tiny triangles. So you have your other tiny triangle that you dipped down, came back up, and you dipped over here. So you can start to see, as you expand your ideas and as you push your ideas out, how it makes sense after, right? Because now you can start to plan your trades, and you can say to yourself, hey, this candle is probably going to just hang out maybe maximum over here. But now I know that if the next candle dips down in here and then it starts to go up, I know that for sure I'm going to fill that wick. And then where am I going? I'm going to probably come up to this point right over here. Just based on pure logic, because you can see exactly what happened here. This wick over here got filled by this candle. There was a minor rejection. And what happened? You had a wick over here, pushed back up. So why isn't the same thing going to happen on the next candle effectively? And then all you're doing is you're planning your target. This actually here is a perfect target, because you know that we have momentum. So more than likely, this area here has to be filled over here. That's just a given, because when you look at anything in particular, or we look at previous instances, this area here was filled by the next candle. So why can't we do that? This area over here was filled by the next candle. Why can't we do that? And if you look at all the times that those candles have been filled, you are now in a position to win more trades, because you are thinking logically, saying, hey, this area here more than likely has to be filled. When is it going to get filled? I don't know, but I have enough information to say, well, you know, we had a massive rejection here. We had a big bullish candle strong here, bullish strong here, and looking to my left, we're filling in that zone again. So there's a good possibility that we're going to come further up into my next zone. And that's all you're doing. You're just charting a course. You're just charting a course for yourself. You know that gold isn't going to just rocket up. Like, we're not just going to have like an $80 move. So when you anticipate that, you say to yourself, okay, if I'm looking at the left over here, something over here should happen so that that almost mirrors that information. It may not be a huge bullish candle like this one, but we might get small bullish candles on the way up. But more than likely, we should fill that area as we start to continue up, if this bullish pressure continues. It just makes sense. And you get that information by looking at the weekly, looking at the monthly. You can start to gather ideas and thought processes behind that.
But traders could do really good and lose a lot less if they would follow some simple principles of never buy as the market's going up and never sell as it's going down, because the big banks aren't buying as it's going up. The big banks are buying as it's going down, and they're selling as it's going up. So if you think, what are they going to do? Why am I buying as it's just gone up $7 and now I'm starting to buy? Why would you do that?
Well, it's an advanced concept for a lot of people, and I think what people have to understand is they shouldn't try and get trapped in liquidity, right? And like I said, if you're coming over here and you're trying to buy gold here, you can't turn around and be like, well, my stop loss is going to be here and my take profit's going to be here. If that's the case, then that's fine. But if you're looking for a long-term trade, you like I said, your stop loss can't be here, and you can't say, oh, we're going to 1480 today. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, we'll eventually get there, but you then have to extend your stop loss maybe down over here, because there could be pushes down before we go further up. Like, it's just the nature of gold, and it's the nature of this pair. And the other thing is too, if you're really going to trade gold and you're really going to attack gold in a sophisticated manner where you want to take advantage, you should be looking at when the daily market opens. So if you're going to trade gold, you should be trying to look for entries in the Asian session, because the Asian session is going to pull back enough to get orders to start to fill up the North American and London sessions, or the London and North American sessions. Trading in the North American section, you're probably getting the tail end of the move, which is still good money. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's why we do it, because we get the volume. But if you're looking to hold gold through all these whipsaws and all this liquidity pulls, you got to start trying to look at that right in the beginning of the Asian session and map out your trade that way. Okay, I see that there was a pullback to 1460. If we break above 1460, I'm taking buys. And then now you're in 1467, 1465, you're safe because you've taken buys at 1460 and you're run. So today you would say, okay, if gold doesn't break 1470, but it hangs around 1468 and 1467, I have to take buys on the next daily candle at 1467. And then I believe we'll rocket to past 1470, and now I'm in a good position at that point. Trying to take buys right now, saying, okay, now gold's going to go to 1470, may be a little tough. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not going to work, but if you truly wanted to do that, you would have got in at 1460. And there's been times where I've traded gold. I've taken positions in the Asian session because I'm like, oh, we have huge momentum. And last night was a perfect example that I missed. I was watching the Raptor game, but I would have taken positions and held them over through the London session into New York, because that would have been a $7 move. And I saw that move coming based on the daily candle from yesterday.
But if we don't hit 1470, if it keeps bouncing off 1470, naturally the rubber band kind of thing says it has to go back down before it hits 1470 again to break it. We may not get 1470, and it may need to go back down, like you said, into the liquidity zone.
Yep.
Before we get the next move up. So
That's
if
correct.
1470 doesn't break here soon, then it's going to have to go back down to 1465 or 1464 before
That's right.
it pushes up again.
And then
if
where
you understand that, then you can
And where the daily candle finishes, the wick, then you expect that wick to be filled, and you can put orders in that wick from the previous daily. And then as the new daily candle pushes up, you'll take buy orders, and they'll be activated in momentum.
Yeah. All right, everybody have a good morning. We'll talk to you guys again soon.
Take it easy, Iron Man.
Well, this GJ played out nice here.
Yeah, that was a really good trade.
Yeah.
That was a very good trade.
Lorenzo wasn't sure how to put arrows for the watch point. I'm trying to find Lorenzo's chart. Can't find it. Yeah, GJ should continue moving to the 139,700. See, now this is what I anticipated and not traded. Gonna take some MLM pictures today. GJ sell question mark. Well, GJ is a sell if it breaks below 139,400. We've been talking about that all day today. Before GJ went up, I even wrote this down over here. GJ30 kind of closed at support, increasing probability to go bullish. And it did. How much was this move? 15 pips? Ooh, 15 pips. Alright, since there's this downtime, I'm going to share this chart. Someone sent me this chart. Mitch sent me this chart earlier on. He had a sell on EJ, and this is perfect example. So this is what we learned over the weekend, like how to close positions before they hit the full stop loss. It's very important. So see, broke previous support, closed below right here, looking for new resistance to form. Okay, waiting for resistance to take a sell. Wait for close, entry on next candle. So this candle closed bearish, so he took a sell right over here. Look at this, hit stop early. Here's why when utilizing dynamic risk, ensure lot size split accordingly. So basically closed early because the candle closed bullish, decreasing the chances for the price to continue going down. Right, so this way he quickly minimized his stop loss. Well, his risk, minimized his risk. It's very nice.
Yo, it's Buckstyle, beat out ballin', that now on IG, fam. Just reminding you, fam, that life is what you make of it, fam. So make the most of it, fam. And make lemonade out of those lemons that life gives you, my nigga.
So why you keep
He had this really good video. Oh, how do you adjust a 0.18? It's basically, so you go to your MT4, you right click your position, and then you hit modify. When you hit modify, it's going to bring up a dialog box, and from that dialog box you can change the volume and then hit close. I've attacked the bottom of the gold 3 times now. What indications do you look for to realize next move may not be promising? Well, gold is just ranging now. You know, gold is ranging. So a better position on gold would be above 1470 or below, like, you know, in this box. Like, yeah, there's that box right there, Ted Drew. So I would look, buys would look better going up, because if sells happen, then there's all this information here to the left. Right, like all this, like candles up and down. I mean, it gets very choppy as price starts to come down. This area right over here, you know, so it's still choppy. So when you look left, you see all these candles, you know, leaving wicks and going up and down, up and down. So that gets really choppy. But when price breaks above 1470, you look left, you're like, okay, it makes sense that the next target could be around, you know, 1473. Which is a $3 move above the resistance which gold has created. Right here. So this is how you start anticipating the targets. And if I was to attack gold again, I think my attack would be around above 1470, because that to me would be a much easier move rather than trying to sell it below 1466 and going all the way down to 1464 even, or even 1464.30.
Mute your mics.
There was another very motivational post he had. Looking for that one.
It's the one about doing the best you can do or something like that.
Yeah, or the grind.
Yeah.
Yo, honestly, fam, any girl that's willing.
No.
There's a difference between getting on your grind and staying on your grind, fam. You could get on your grind and you'll have dollars, but as soon as you're not on your grind no more, you won't have money, so you have to stay on your grind, fam. That's the difference between getting on your grind and staying on your grind. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Stay on the grind.
Stay on your grind, fam.
Such knowledge.
Yeah.
Stay on the grind, fam.
Yo, you have to go through things to say you've been through things, fam. It's like the things that happen to you, fam, that's what makes you who you are, fam. It's just if you learned from it, and if it turned you into a better person, my nigga. Real talk.
And he takes a boogie.
Yo, that man's like the hood philosopher.
Yeah, he is.
You have to go through things to say you've been.
Yeah. A lot of people, they say they've been through things, fam, when they haven't.
Yo, life's too short to sit around and wait. You gotta do things right now. You gotta make things happen before it's too late. You gotta remember, you only get one life, so just enjoy every day, my nigga. Yo, life...
His nostrils flare up when he said,
"Yeah."
Yo, let me tell you the story about...
It's awesome.
Hey, I'm laughing, but at least he's spreading positive messages, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, man, his videos, look, 29,000 views. Like, come on.
Damn.
I'm one of those views.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you wanna do, fam, and not what other people want you to do. Like, what really matters, what people think or what you think. Don't ever let somebody else influence your next move. Always do you and fuck what next people say, fam.
Yeah. Exactly.
I remember I went to Jamaica when I was in grade 10, fam, and it was actually so fun. I went to the strip club, and I seen the sexiest stripper, fam. She's dancing naked, fam, butt naked dancing. But at the corner of your eye, you can see a nigga dancing, doing peanut butter jelly time. And you know the Jamaicans can make a dance out of everything. It actually looks sick, fam. The guy was doing peanut butter jelly time. And on the next day, I seen a fat stripper, fam. And she asked me to buy her a drink. And when I said no, she called me boring. But I told her I'm too young. And then I seen two youths, fam. They're about to kill each other, fam. One had an ice pick and one had a machete. So I took the ice pick and I took the machete because they're younger than me. And I told them to fight. And then I asked them, yo, is it beef or is it squash? And they said they don't like beef, so what's squash? And I told them squash is when you guys had beef and you didn't like each other, but you guys just squashed it, fam. You guys just don't talk to each other no more, you're friends again. Guess what, fam? They're like, they don't like beef, so we're picking squash.
That made no sense.
Oh man, that guy makes me laugh.
Hi, fam. You're great.
We just gave him another 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
Yo, before I was famous and before I was a rapper, fam, I was just a baller, fam. Every day at school and at recess, I'd play ball and I was the...
Oh, he removed his first pictures.
Yeah, he's too popular now.
Yeah, he's too popular. Gotta filter out bad stuff.
Yo, I just got my first 3,000 followers. I'd like to thank all the fans that supported the wave, all the man them, all my fam,
wow.
All the rappers that reposted my songs.
3,000 followers at this time. Oh, he's smoking weed. This has to be something motivational.
Hot 16.
Oh, it's a rap song. Hey, Raja, these videos are annoying. Yeah, this choppy, not as annoying as this choppy market. So these videos are to distract everybody from this choppiness. We're here to save you. Ooh, 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m. What will Paul say?
Summer a few weeks. Yo, yesterday my phone finessed me, fam. I thought it was working all blessed after I dropped it in the water and I put it in the rice and it dried up and it was working a little bit. I thought it was all blessed until it didn't even charge, fam, at the end of the night, fam.
Fam.
Yo, I just wanted to tell the story about how I almost died smoking a cigarette.
What? Yeah, check this out. Looking like $100. Nice. Okay. Raja, I have been selling GJ. Oh, nice. What are the prices for cannabis officially in Canada? Well, depends where you get it from, you know. I mean, dispensaries you can get like 140 half ounce, something like that from dispensaries. You can actually keep 150 kilos at home legally. 150 kilos. You can walk around with an ounce or 2 ounces legally outside. So it just gold is dropping down.
You see, rakeel, you took 2 trades on gold, right?
3.
Oh, 3.
Yeah, I didn't really put the. I took one sell when it got roasted, and then I took buys, and then took buys again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I took GJ.
Oh.
Got out at 64, man.
Oh, nice.
Right over here.
Right at the top.
Yeah, man.
Nice. Yeah, that was a good close.
Yeah, man.
That was a good close.
Adaman.
See, when it moves like this, then I put my stops at break even for a runner, because if it keeps running, it's going to keep on shooting. But
yeah, but I wasn't really sure based on the hour and the 4-hour close that it was gonna go higher.
Yeah.
See, 4-hour close below all this.
Soda pop, soda water. 1 hour candle is bullish, previous one, and this one should continue moving up to fill the wick. And this is the difference between rejection wicks and wick fills, because 1 hour candle has closed bullish at support, it's got a wick fill now, so the next candle has a high probability to fill that wick. Only if it stays above the low of the previous 1 hour candle. Because if it breaks the low of the previous 1 hour candle, then the probability to do the wick fill decreases, diminishes. You know, and then you look at the overall 4 hour, and then you say, okay, well, if the 1 hour candle has broken the low of the previous 1 hour, then there's a high chance the 4 hour can now flip bearish and continue down. So that's how you play 2 scenarios based off of probabilities. Savage highlights. Wondering that you're streaming this long today, waiting for that item. Yeah, no, I changed my gym times to 4:30, so I go to the gym at 4:30 now. So that's why I'm still on here now. This is what Canadian money looks like. Green, purple, blue.
Wow, purple sounds dope.
Yeah.
We have orange.
He's missing a 50. 50 is pink.
50 is pink. Wow.
Yeah, 50 is pink.
What's the biggest note you got over there? 100?
100, yeah.
In Euro, we've got 500 euros. No.
Really?
Yep.
No, I think it's
Yeah, man. Search.
500
euro
euros.
note. It's a pink one.
No, but the euro is strong. Like euro shouldn't have a 500 euro note.
We call them the Bin Laden.
Damn, that's a
Nobody sees them.
That's a big note. Like I know, pound the highest is 50.
Yeah.
'Cause pound is strong. Yeah, I think they stopped printing the 500 note. Chris just said, yeah, 500 is too big.
They stopped.
Man, people would get killed over a 500 euro note. Can you imagine?
If you want to exchange notes, like if you give them the 500 one, they give you a better exchange rate.
Oh, nice.
You know, but
man, I was at the airport before leaving for Chicago. You see this rate here, CAD and the USD, it's 1.32. At the airport, they gave me a 1.61 rate. 1.61. Can you imagine? A 30-cent spread.
Markups in the airports are ridiculous.
Oh, I looked at that and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, nah, forget about it. If I wasn't a trader, I would have just probably said, okay, I exchange it, whatever. But I knew it's not, that's just too much. Oh, they had a CAD $1,000 note.
And the pink notes back in the day.
Oh. Damn. That must meant power.
Yeah, they were counterfeited like crazy. That's
Oh,
why
I
it's a lot of
bet.
circulation.
Yeah, I don't think you could use those big notes in like grocery stores or gas stations.
Yeah.
You follow Boris, man.
Yeah, man, Boris Johnson.
The British Trump.
Yeah, look at him. Like he's so in social media because he understands the power of social media. Like look at all these pictures, the shit he's doing. How I mean, I would support him.
Yeah, but he has a team behind him.
Yes.
And he doesn't understand shit, in my opinion.
Yes. Theresa May didn't understand at all about social media.
Ooh.
Ooh. Android users are better owners, yeah. They're better people. That's like
That's a good one.
That's like me dipping ketchup in pizza, or like chicken wings in pizza. Oh, chicken wings in ketchup. What is Fashion Nova anyway? I've always
fashion brand.
It's like a online store for like clothes. I've never looked at it. This is the first time I'm opening it.
They've got the best models, man.
Nice.
God damn, their website is slow. Maybe too many users on it right now. Yeah, the website is pretty slow. Marketfluidity.com is much more faster than this. Oh, there we go.
Don't buy Fashion Nova, buy Market Fluidity.
Oh, they're like $40, $80. What's this?
You don't have one, Rakeel.
No. Wow.
It just says you don't have one.
This is a thing. Butt lifter boy short.
Wow.
That's nuts.
It's for strippers.
Restock alert. God damn.
Damn. I'll buy that for me. Oh, never.
Someone said to me the other day that they were like, looking at the live streams, like they were going through the live streams, and then I guess we were looking at stuff like that on a live stream, and someone walked in and they saw that. Like, what are you doing? Oh no, I'm working. It's these guys. It's these guys that are looking at this. Yeah, I'm gonna head off here. Yeah,
Alrighty, take it easy.
Take care. Have fun, everybody.
Alright, bye, fam.
Bye, fam. Just remember, life is short, fam. So you gotta, make it and make it.
Don't overtrade, fam.
Don't overtrade, fam.